Welcome to the Show, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything. I'm Brady.
And I'm Katie.
And before we begin today, we just wanted to touch base with you listeners about some of the technical difficulties we've been having lately. So, I don't know who's dropping the ball, if it's us or if it's our podcast host or if it's like the websites we're uploading the MP3s and stuff to. But we've been having issues with just the episodes not working. I also know last week's episode, for whatever reason, we had like our intro music play again at like the 2-minute mark or something like that. I think that was my fault. I totally dropped the ball. We were pretty sleep deprived.
Perfect episode for
that.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And the other issue I wanted to touch base on was sometimes our audio just randomly cuts out during an episode. And sometimes it's missing 2 seconds worth of audio. That is Audacity, the program we use to record. It is an open source, meaning a free program. So I'm going to go ahead and just blame the software on that one. There's not a lot we can do about that. We are going to try today to record for a shorter time and then start recording again after we stop it to see if that remedies the problem. But other than that, I can't find like a tangible fix for it online. There's like a lot of other people experiencing the same problem, and nobody's really figured out like a bug fix. There hasn't been any patches. So bear with us. We're going to try to figure this out. And thanks for putting up with the issues.
And on that note, we have a plea that we would like to put out to all of you. You know, according to our statistics, a lot of somebody's listened to this show, but we really need your help. If something's not working, if our audio quality sucks, if you want us to ditch the trains, if my voice is annoying, any of these aspects, we need to have some feedback, guys. We would really appreciate it if you hit our social media, if you emailed us at goitheshow@gmail.com. Any sort of criticism or feedback would be just absolutely appreciated. We need your help because we do want to make this show the best show possible because we really do enjoy it. And we want to know if you enjoy it or what you don't enjoy about it because Brady and I have feelings of steel. We're married to other people.
Yes.
It's great.
If you need to find us, if you log on to YouTube, we have links to all of our social media and all of the different ways you can find our podcast on each video description. That's about the best way because we haven't really paid for search engine optimization yet because it's kind of expensive. So we wanted to get a good base in the ground before we started doing that. So that's the best way to find like a conglomerate of links on our YouTube video descriptions.
Yeah, and we're going through these growing weeds now. We want to iron this stuff out in the beginning so that we can be, as awesome as we can be later. Because, look at Joe Rogan. We don't want to, switch to a new studio and get, flayed alive because we changed something. So we're going to do it all now in the beginning. And you guys could help us do that. We'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, also, you're all lucky you can't see the different places we record each week because it does change quite often.
Yes, it does.
So I don't think you'll be seeing any trains this week or hearing any trains for that matter.
Can't guarantee you're not going to hear a cow or some shotgun shots, though.
Yeah, that's probably going to happen.
We are in the woods.
Welcome to North Idaho, everybody.
Moo.
Join us. But without further ado, let's get started. Today's episode is going to be about how you can spend $40 on our 3-course program to get rich quick.
Boss babe!
So, Katie, would you like to get skinny quick?
No.
Okay, well, you probably shouldn't click this link then.
Oh, I thought you were my friend and trying to put societal pressure on me to buy your stuff so that you can get rich and I can get thin.
Oh, I don't think you'll actually get thin, but you will give me money and it'll be kind of nice.
Do they know that all MLMs, the lower level people, just suck it and it's the upper levels that get famous and rich and go on trips to Barbados paid for by their friends?
Yes. So if you guys can't tell, today's episode, we're starting out with a rant about like the toxic advertising culture that is running rampant in today's internet age.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to move too.
So my thoughts on this though, real quick. If we didn't have the internet, I think about this all the time. If we didn't have the internet, I think advertising still would have evolved as quick as it did. And it would just be more billboards and stickers everywhere. Because if you look what they did on TV, even right before internet got more popular than it is, it was just ads everywhere, product placement everywhere. Entire billion-dollar Hollywood movies were just about selling a Mercedes. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about the Transformers movie specifically.
Absolutely.
They wanted to sell Camaros and Mercedes and
their Chevys,
and Xboxes and shit.
Ooh.
So,
Toasters.
just there's just so much advertising all around us all the time. Is it effective and worth the amount of money they put into it? I don't know, but they seem to think it works, and these companies spend so much money advertising. There are companies that spend more than they make advertising their product, at least for years and years before they become as big enough to pull in a profit.
Because
Sometimes it's a tax write-off, I believe, that's my opinion, but
well, it
I
also
don't
has
know.
to do with most businesses are not a single straightforward business anymore, with the exception of small businesses. I'm talking about big businesses.
Yes.
You have one that you run as a loss so that the one that's profitable, you don't have to give so much taxes. And I sometimes wonder if, you've got your new up and coming business and you're like, hey, we can go hard on this to get it off the ground. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah, a good example of that is Jeff Bezos' company, Amazon.com.
Okay.
It is not just an internet website. It is not just that at all. He's got like airlines and all sorts of. He just bought like one of the biggest news corporations in America. What did he buy? The Washington Post.
I think so. He's
So he's got all this stuff. Net profits are usually negative for his company because he puts all of the profits back into the company so that his liquid worth is astronomical, but he doesn't have all that cash just sitting around to be taxed. And that's mainly probably the issue. Plus, the business grows more and more, and then he can buy more airlines or whatever he wants to do. Get us that space station he's trying to get everybody to
and
live
my
on.
pet drone that brings me collagen powder.
Yeah,
looking forward to that.
So, that I don't think that's as toxic of capitalism as it could be, because he realistically is just trying to make his company better, and from a free market standpoint, that's not a bad thing. We get a better product for cheaper, and that's how every business should be ran. However, there is a bit of an issue with, like, again, toxic advertising culture, because as you guys might know, recently Amazon just started doing this thing where you can basically use their vast distributive network to like distribute your merch. If you have any kind of merch, like if you have an internet company and you don't want to use Squarespace, you can use Amazon's distribution and what do they call it? Fulfillment centers to sell like your t-shirts or whatever. But people are using it just to sell their crap like eBay used to be. But in a sense, how it works is I think Amazon comes out making more money than you.
Well, yeah, they're banking on you using their massive network. Like,
Yes.
it's such a huge entity now, and they know that people will take a cut of their income from their products knowing that they get more exposure. Because you may have the best product in the world. Like, okay, we have a podcast. The way people do, monetize podcasts is the number one way is probably ads.
Yeah.
I don't like to harass people with things. I feel like if you have something good enough, eventually, if you put the time and work in, something good's going to come out of it. And yeah, it might take longer. And that's where I think you tap into that get rich quick thing.
Yeah.
I think people have this, instant gratification button in their brain. Because I know with me, if someone comes at me with a bunch of advertising trying to pressure me to buy something, I won't buy it. In fact, I'll go out of my way not to buy it. It's like, you know what? Show me what you got. And then if I want it, I'll come get it. Does that work on other people? It must, because that's how they go.
Yeah, it seems to reach a lot of people, these weird ads and stuff. Like, for example, like YouTube ads. Does anybody really click those? The only way that people make money having ads on their videos is if you actually click them. Sometimes you have to even buy the product.
Really?
And it's like, does anybody even click these? And it's always the same damn ads. And I don't know. I don't like advertising because I feel like I'm being peddled to. I feel like those old time charlatans trying to sell you snake oil.
I feel like people have advertising fatigue too, because a lot of
Oh,
it, maybe
yeah.
subconsciously it is going into my brain, but honestly, I've heard and there's so much coming at you all the time. Every second of our day, I feel like there's something being sold to us, and there's only so much of us that can go around. I mean, market share.
It's kind of the mindset of all these people have this money that they're spending on stuff no matter what. And so how can we slip into that stream of revenue and grab some of that out of their hands?
Well,
and of course
yeah.
they think we're stupid. Some of these companies really do think we're stupid.
It's like there's 6 billion brands of shampoo.
Uh-huh.
And if you have Kendall Jenner washing her hair with it on an Instagram reel, does that really make people want to buy it more? Is that the whole point of influencers?
I definitely think there is a reach that it has. when celebrities get involved with their own products, or if when they get involved in peddling other people's products. It's been done since the dawn of advertising. Like when they got Shaquille O'Neal on board with Nike or whatever. I might be wrong on that. I don't really follow sports, but I just know like
Air Jordans.
Air Jordans. When these companies get celebrities involved, everybody has like this weird like obsession with Hollywood. So when you get these big actors that everybody grew up watching on TV get involved in advertising, it seems to work.
It really does.
Or like all the when celebrities do their own products, seems to work really well, like Yeezys.
Well, you were just talking about earlier that you said, because we were going to tie social media into this too, that when you felt, what was that you were speaking about, where you listened and got so involved in someone's podcast that you felt like they were your friend because you knew things about them, but they actually don't even know you exist. I can't say they don't care about you. Anybody that has some art that they make, if people appreciate it, I think on some level, whether it's narcissistic or truly appreciative, that you do care, but you don't know these people.
Yeah, you don't have any kind of real personal relationship with them as an influencer.
Yeah.
However, us as like I guess what you would call the consumer of that art, especially when it comes to like YouTube and podcasts and all that.
Yeah.
We form what they call a parasocial relationship.
Ooh, talk about that.
With these influencers. So, and this does tie into advertising, I swear.
It does.
But these parasocial relationships are basically like, let's say, and I use Joe Rogan as an example a lot just because he's a huge influencer at the moment, and he reaches millions and millions of ears every single day that he posts an episode. So I'm just going to continue to use him as an example. People will listen to hundreds, if not thousands, of hours of him talking about himself, about all these things. And you form this, like, not a real relationship with them. Like, as a listener, you know everything about the dude, and you tune in as if he's your friend or something. I've fallen down this hole a couple times, especially with this other podcast that Duncan Trussell does. One of my favorite other podcasts. I recommend checking it out, the Duncan Trussell Family Hour. Really great podcast. But I got like obsessed with it for a while and was listening to it nonstop, hundreds of hours of Duncan talking. And I felt like he was my friend. Like I had dreams of hanging out with him and stuff. Like this really weird dynamic that I've never experienced before in life. Because I've never met the guy. He doesn't know me. He's never met me. He probably doesn't even know I exist. I've never tried to communicate with him on social media or anything like that. But I felt like he was my friend because I heard him talk for hundreds of hours. It was the weirdest experience of my life.
So does the para in parasocial mean parasitical? Because it is sort
Maybe.
of think about it. Duncan Trussell's Family Hour would not survive without the support of all of you thousands or millions of parasocial followers. So you are like a parasite in its host in a sense that it is a mutually beneficial behavior. You need the parasites, the host needs to keep going. It's really weird to me because they don't know. I don't know. I feel like that's one of the magical things that also can be negative about social media is this weird sort of, I know this person. It's like you do actually know what they're presenting to you, but is that actually the person or the persona they're playing to get likes?
And not to mention, there isn't like what you would call like a normal dynamic friendship there because you're not, there's no real back and forth interactions. There's just, again, what they're presenting to you.
It feels like voyeurism.
You don't get any feedback. It is kind of voyeurism, yes. Absolutely.
Feels like it.
So a really good example of this is like is Twitch. Twitch.tv is one of the biggest streaming sites. It's normally used for like streaming video game, basically to monetize playing video games. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's awesome. However, it's the parasocial relationships on there are worse than just listening to a podcast because you can interact with the influencer in a chat.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a lot of return from them. Trust me, you get a dopamine drip if that influencer sees your comment and talks back to you. Like I've done this all the time. One of my favorite guitar players, Nick Nocturnal, does a Twitch stream, once every couple days. And he's not that big yet. But I'm starting to fall into the parasocial relationship hole with him. Because whenever I watch his stream, because it's not a million people in the chat room, sometimes he sees my chats and replies to them on the video. And to me, he's basically a celebrity because I watch his YouTube videos all the time.
Well, he is to
and then
you.
I watch his Twitch stream all the time. So to me, he's a celebrity. But I've also got this parasocial relationship with him because he's talked back to me before, and I know a lot about him, and I see him do this all this, or at least I know what he's presenting to me. But you get this dopamine drip because he saw your comment. Oh my God. It's the same thing when, like, if you're walking around LA and you see, like, fucking John Travolta or something walking down the street. And you're like, oh my God, famous guy, can you sign this for me? Or I don't know if anyone listening has ever, like, met a famous person. But I don't know. There's something about human nature that it's like we put these people up on a pedestal and worship them. They're deified, I guess.
I was trying to think of a time when I've had something like that happen, because famous people I've met before, and I don't know, I just see them. It doesn't really work on me, that part, but I have had one thing. I blog on the world's first blockchain-based social network, and I've spent 4 years building up to where I am not at the low end of this. I'm up there a little bit, and I'm not a programmer.
Where can people find this, by the way? You can, go ahead and plug your blog.
Oh, sorry. If you go to hive.io, and it's under @genericat, my blog is an interesting look. Actually, you could kind of see me. And I have people on there that I consider my friends, but I've never met in my life, but we have interacted. But what I was talking about with the dopamine drip that you speak of is one of the founding members, and there's a bunch of really intelligent, like Winklevoss twins type level people, like Elon Musk type people that have wrote this and are running this, and they are the forefront of crypto, the cryptoverse. Yeah. And when one of them upvotes one of my posts for like $100, that actually happened before.
Ooh.
You do feel, one, I'm getting paid. It's like this sense of validation that some really special, awesome person that's making a difference in the world thinks that something I did is awesome. And I think that's how you feel when the person that you like on your guitar thing responds to your chat. It's like, I have validation. I'm special. Some special person is thinking, is saying, hey, you're responding to you. I get, so that's the only place in my life that I can think that I've had that moment. And it is kind of nice. I mean,
yeah.
But on the flip side, is it toxic? Do I sit all day waiting for them to talk to me? No, I kind of don't, but I don't know.
But a lot of people, it's easy for a lot of people to fall down that hole.
Because you don't come. Well, but that's just it. You need to make
sure. How many people are out there like waiting for their favorite influencer to respond to their email or their DM that you dropped in their box?
Well, and also, you know what I mean? That's sort of sad. Because who are you missing? And maybe in the time of Rona, this is how we are going to interact. Because now you're not supposed to really interact in person as much, right?
Yeah, and thank God we do have this digital communication device in our pockets, most of us. I would say if not, a good majority of people on this planet have a smartphone of some sort.
I feel like that too.
And it's awesome. It's a very good piece of technology. You can communicate with anybody in the world instantly as long as you have some kind of like identifying number to contact them directly or a username or something.
And that's yeah.
But again, you can also contact these celebrities on their social media pages and never get a response.
You think they're getting a lot? The validation that they're getting though cannot replace. Okay, I'm sorry. Your grandma hugging you is a completely different biochemical. Like you get pitocin, you get all of these things that happen in real life when there's touch, smell, the qualia that I talked about.
Yeah, qualia.
Qualia. You don't get that. I don't think via digital. I don't think that you get that because you don't smell grandma's, mints, and you don't. There's all of this stuff that, and maybe when the world figures out how to do sensory input with the digital devices, because
it'll probably happen.
You think it's going to happen,
yeah.
Or maybe our implants can mimic it?
It's possible.
I don't know.
I'd love to know. I mean, we're talking about technology. Like, it's kind of hard to predict where it's actually going to go, but I am sure that's exactly what they're aiming for.
Well, because you talk about toxic advertising. Yeah. I absolutely despise it when people I know in real life hit me up like, hey, and I might not ever talk to them or maybe once or twice a year, and they hit me up, they're like, hey, babe, how's it going? You want to buy some of my essential oils? Or do you need some of these eyelashes? You look super hot. And I'm like, who are you? Like, that's not you. You're just feeding me a script. Oh, man.
So I got sucked into a multi-level marketing scheme one time.
Okay.
And if you guys don't know what this is, it's basically a pyramid scheme. Mm-hmm. But it falls into the legal realm of pyramid schemes. So someone will just talk to you one day and they'll be like, yo, man, I got to tell you about this thing that changed my life. They're like, They try to suck you into this. They play on your emotions. And basically what it is this company that usually they sell some kind of product, but that product isn't what the company's about. What it's about is getting other people to sell the company. Mm-hmm. And then those people below them also sell the company. So typically, no product even ever really gets sold. Because what you do is you go in trying to sell the product. You're acting like you're selling a product. But what you're really doing is say, hey, come work for me and you can get rich.
Oh God,
It's kind of hard to explain. It's very complicated. But basically, it just creates these layers of like employees that don't really do anything other than like, hey, sign up for this thing and try to sell it. And hey, sign up for this thing and try to sell it.
And you have to meet these goals.
Yeah, there's all these goals, but literally no product typically ever gets sold. Like some of them do, like Avon is. There's two different kind of tiers to this. Essentially, some companies don't use typical advertising methods to sell their product. They use word of mouth, and some of the some of these products are actually pretty good. Like a lot of people know Avon. They actually sell a product, or that Mary Kay makeup crap. They actually sell the products, but mainly what it's about is getting the salesmen of these products. That's where the multi-level marketing comes in. And so basically they need as many salesmen as they can, because the more salesmen, the more people buy it, the more, the word gets out. It's the same thing as commercials, but it's people talking to you, like your neighbors and your friends, instead of the guy on TV. Or these weird advertisements you see on TV. Well, it's the same concept, just with the people talking about it. And it works. But then there's the predatory ones where, again, they're going to pretend there's a product to sell, but really they're just trying to get you to be a salesman of the company, so that it just keeps trickling down, more and more people trying to get each other to sell this product, and nobody ever buys the product. You just get sucked in, you just get roped into selling the employment. Essentially, it's really weird, and that's the kind I got sucked into. But anyway, what happened was I don't know a lot of random people, so I had to, if I wanted to make money, I had to sell the employment to other people, so they could quote unquote work for me selling this product, quote unquote. It was really tricky shit. Like, this is really. It's really super. It's a scam. Okay, come on. Let's just put it. Most of the time, it's a scam. But I had to like contact my friends and family, and I'd have to be like, "Hey, do you got like a half an hour? I can tell you about this thing I'm doing." And it felt so dirty after the first couple times, and then of course your friends catch on because they're not stupid. So so all of a sudden they're like, "Dude, I don't want to be your friend. Like, or I don't want to do this just to have you like." Always just try to sell me this thing all the time. Like, you're stupid.
Oh, so, it's super annoying.
Like, people catch on and they feel like you're trying to fucking con them. So yeah, but that's like one form of like predatory advertising. It's bad.
And it sounds, and the pressure.
It's basically a pyramid scheme, like I said.
The pressure that they put on people, I hate hearing from my friends, like, if my friends have a legit problem, or say they're trying to do something special, if they're my friends, I would just help them anyways. Do you know what I mean? That's how that works. But to hear someone say, I've got to meet this sales goal because I really want this trip to Bermuda.
Yeah.
Or I've got to do this, or help me out here. It's like, no, you need to do what all other people do who are trying to make money. You offer a good enough product.
Yeah.
And you know what? Educate through advertising. That's fine. Make some Pinterest pages and posts. People will find it. But this idea of putting pressure on your friends and family to help you just because they, by association, I think is one of the cruelest, most horrible things in the whole world. And
that's kind of the same thing I went with these internet beggars that used to exist. It's less of a problem now, but it still exists, especially again on Twitch, where it's people will just get on there on their webcam and just sit there and talk about literally nothing substantial at all. Just sit there. They're just sitting there on a webcam.
Oh, yeah.
And they expect or feel entitled to you giving them your money. Just because they're the ones on the webcam. Like, and it's fucking gross to me.
That meme the other day that I sent you about the guy sent this lady like $3,600 and she didn't even acknowledge him.
Yeah.
And they were making fun of him for being a simp lord.
Simp lord.
Simp lord.
Yeah, that's a big thing now, because now a girl, an attractive woman, can just get on a webcam and not do anything and expect people to give her money.
And I feel like that, and the thing is, as a woman, it's so horrifying to me because your looks are going to take a hike, if you even have them, at some point. And then what are you going to be left with? Is that why there's so many miserable alcoholics, obnoxious people hanging out there? Especially as ladies. Because I'm sorry, ladies are still valued. There's still some toxic things in our society. And it seems like ladies are still super valued by how they look. And then dudes are super valued by what are they going to give me?
Exactly.
And I feel like that is so horrible because that has no lasting power.
No.
You're not going to matter. So
it's a weird human dynamic.
And then after about 40 or 50, depending on the woman, you're going to look obvious like that you've been trying real hard to hang in there.
We see it all the time. Everybody sees it. Go to the mall.
It's terrifying.
If there's still a mall in your town, oh God, that's hard to even say because malls barely exist now.
You're not going to see their
But
faces.
if there's still a mall in your town, just go and hang out there for a couple hours, especially at like a JCPenney or one of these boomer stores. You'll see.
Well, I went on my friends gave me this ticket. This has been a few years ago now. So I was not super old anyways, for a boat cruise on Lake Coeur d'Alene, and they put 2 boats together, and they had 2 country concerts on it, which one, I don't listen to country music. Really, and
I just got bored.
That's not really. Oh no, it was wildlife viewing. Brady, it was. You know why? I'll never forget these 2 ladies because they were thoroughly into their 40s and they were wearing bodycon dresses and they hadn't done the Pilates necessary to wear them, and they were grinding on young people. And I was like, I just remember thinking, why? None of these people are going to like you. They're going to mock you because you're older. And wow, rock your coolness. I don't care about that. I'm not trying to judge anybody. But I just remember thinking, you're trying to hold on to something because you derive your value from your advertising. Because really, it's just about advertising, right? It's like, look at my sexiness. You should give me something.
Point. Back when I was single and I was looking for a... prospective mate.
Okay.
If you want to put it, in a weird way, I guess. I was looking for a woman, okay? And it felt like I had to advertise myself.
Yeah. Is that what
And I'm
dating
sure it's
is?
the same thing for women trying to find a man. They have to advertise themselves. But they either think or know that we're going to mainly focus on looks. So, of course, the first thing you see is like a profile picture on like a dating app. And that's your first bit of advertising.
And then you send pictures of other things as the second bit of advertising, right? Is it all about an exchange of bits? Like, because I'm going to give you guys a little bit of information about me.
Exchange of bits.
Yeah, literally and figuratively.
Are we talking about dick pics?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
I have been married my entire adult life. I never dated. And then I met my husband, who is quite a bit older than me, and I don't have any experience. I don't have any experience anything other than I've listened to a lot of people over the years, and I've listened to people be just miserable about the dating field and all this stuff. And so, what subjectively, or is that experientially, I have no experience of this. I don't understand any of it, and I've always been kind of an old person, so I don't understand why people would do this to themselves. I can't. If that person doesn't
Desperate, maybe?
I mean, we're visual creatures, especially males. I mean, you see a pair of hoo-has, you're going to be like, But then you might, like, eventually want to talk to the person and be like, if that person's crazy, you're all, the tits aren't worth it.
Yeah.
Right?
Essentially.
Or they might be worth one night and then you're moving on.
Especially since the market is flooded in a way, in a sense.
The market is
Because now there's a lot of tits out
flooded?
there.
Yeah. I didn't know about
And not only that, I mean, anybody can just get on Pornhub now.
Well, that's just it. Why would I want some dude that I might want to... I would rather know...
They're less valuable.
Do you like snacks? And can we hang out on the couch and talk about books? I really don't care about seeing your wiener. I have never understood that.
I'm sorry. We have to address this problem.
We need to talk about it.
I feel personally responsible to address this problem.
Okay, I want to know.
Men.
Ooh.
What is up with the dick pics? I've never understood this either. I've never been the kind of person to just do that either. Okay, but there is what seems to be a substantial amount. It's an epidemic.
It's a dickademic.
It's a dickademic. What is with the dick pics? Why do men just think, oh, dude, if she just sees my dick, then she'll be all into it? Like, what is the mindset behind just sending random dick pics to chicks? They don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see a penis. It's ugly.
Well,
it's probably different, like when you're in the moment and the mood is hot,
I guess, but
however you want to look at it,
as an advertising thing, it's like.
But like, you don't just. You probably even sometimes you've never even sent anything to the chick. You just immediately send her your dick. Yeah, that's gonna work. Like, what is really the problem there? I don't understand. I've never understood this whole dynamic of sending a dick pic to a chick who doesn't know you. I don't understand that. It's creepy. And it's also weird. They don't want to see it. They hate it. They talk shit about it to their friends constantly. But like, seriously though, most chicks who are like single and out there and trying to get, sometimes they don't even have to be single, but most chicks probably had this experience where they'll just get a random dick pic from people. Whether you know the person or not, you'll just get a random dick pic. And I'm sorry we have to talk about this. It's kind of awkward, but like, really, this is a problem in the world.
Yeah, it does.
Does that work? Like... Now it makes me wonder, like, I guess it works because if Nike just sends you a picture of their shitty shoes,
is it the same thing?
you're gonna at least know their shitty shoes exist.
Well,
do you think that maybe dudes know that there might be 10 other dick pics in that chick's text message box, and so they're like, I want to get mine in there. Maybe she can just choose between dicks. I don't get the mindset. I've not been that kind of person.
And think of it in this context.
What is going on there?
Thinking, I don't know about dating per se, other than I have noticed that when you date someone, it seems like you have to date a lot of people to get to find the one that you like. So it's like if someone sends you a picture that I feel like it was of a private thing, are they going to send pictures of you or make up pictures of you if you guys have a falling out? And it's like, I feel like in the long term, that if that person shows that they're willing to behave that way, that maybe that's not such a good idea in the long term. Maybe you're just looking for some fun. I've noticed, I know other people that they are on certain apps just to get laid all the time. Like that is their thing. And so
you talking about Tinder
and Grindr and all those other things. I have family.
There's been a hookup culture, I guess you could call it.
Gross.
I mean,
it damages people's souls.
Tinder's a weird one, or those dating apps are a weird one. Sorry, I don't want to call out just one. There is plenty of them.
There's plenty. Well, I don't think they're bad inherently. I'm just talking about the way people behave.
I'm not trying to judge either. Like, realistically, there's nothing wrong with like a one-night stand or hooking up or whatever. It used to be you go to the bar for that.
And now people use apps for it.
But you don't have to go to the bar anymore. People use apps. And also, I've noticed the younger generation, and even millennials nowadays, they just don't drink as much either. Like alcohol is becoming more of a quote unquote boomer thing anyway. Like, of course, everybody when they're young kind of goes a little crazy.
Well, I think young people like more. They're starting to gravitate towards more finer instead of just drinking to get hosed.
Yeah,
it's more of a I'm having my craft beer and my free range avocado toast. Like it's more of a, and I'm not disparaging. I like fine things too.
Are you saying drinking has become crunchy?
Yeah,
is what they call that culture.
Look
crunchy
at the
culture.
Explosion of artisan and craft beers.
That's true.
A decade ago, there was
maybe it's just an Idaho thing. Like the Pacific Northwest, at least.
Serious.
I know for a fact at least the Pacific Northwest is all about their craft beers.
We don't have a bomb going off. It's the coffee pot.
Oh.
Were you scared?
You scared me.
I'm sorry.
I thought the Russians were attacking.
Oh.
I don't even know if you guys heard that, but there's this random beep that happened.
I didn't get the tactical nuke out for this episode.
I thought we were going to die.
We're good.
Yeah. Anyway,
back to
What was I saying?
I don't know.
I got distracted because the beep. I'm getting a phone call. There's a beep.
Do they just throw a couple bears at the rig and whatever bear reigns supreme is the guy you date? That would be awesome.
Just have death matches for dating.
Yeah, like
there's an app idea. Any app developers out there dating deathmatch?
My bear is tougher than your bear.
Also, I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, there you go.
It's a Wild West game, so like, I've been. My mindset lately to solve every problem is just have a duel.
I love duels. Can we have fake duels though? Like,
especially after watching the debates.
A dating
recently.
app of duels.
Yeah.
Whoever wins the duel gets to go on the date.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Like, obviously, whoever loses is gonna die anyway.
But not in real life, so it's cool, right?
You could have virtual duels.
Virtual duels would be fun. How did we get off?
You just gave me an idea.
Did
seriously.
Okay, tell
so
me.
like a dating app, but like you have to win some kind of game.
It's like Shakespearean.
So literally, like. It doesn't even matter who wins. It's not like it's gonna prove anything, but like it gives like it's basically a fucking flip of the coin at this point. But like
I feel like it's.
I just can see it happening, like American Ninja Warrior, but for whoever wins gets the fucking girl. So like that show, The Bachelor, or whatever everybody's obsessed with, but like combined with like those stupid challenge game shows that we stole from Japan.
Oh, most extreme challenge.
God, now I'm getting ideas here.
Well, I think it's a little bit more. Rich. It's less degrading than, hey, look, that guy's 4/10 of a mile away. Let's send him a picture of my boobs.
Yeah, but basically now all it is like I'm gonna send her my dick.
Oh,
she's gonna like it.
It's
gonna totally be bigger than the 10 other dicks she has in her inbox. Because there's probably hundreds. I had this chick friend. And she showed me her inbox, and it's full of these creepy dudes. It's not just dick pics.
It's all the things.
There's a lot of those. There was a lot of those, and unfortunately, I had to see them because she wanted to show me. But it was absurd. I had to see them. It was like watching it. It was like seeing a train wreck on the side of the road, or a car wreck on the side of the road.
You rubbernecked.
I had to see it because it was like it made me go, "What the fuck?" But there was also this culture of like, I don't know if it's like simps.
Yeah, simp lords.
or what's going on here, but like there's so many creepy dudes who now all these dudes feel entitled just because they took the time to send the person a DM.
Oh, you're talking about
now
that.
they're all of a sudden entitled to attention and respect, and that now the chick has to date them because they took the time to send them a DM.
That sounds like an incel.
And that's a big thing on like bigger influencers too. Like there's a lot of problems with like these chicks on Twitch who just sit in front of their webcam and expect money. Well, these dudes will send them a DM and they're feeling entitled to a response from these chicks, and they'll fucking go batshit crazy if the chick don't respond. I've seen it a million times.
I think that goes back to something we're failing at in society. That someone gives you something does not entitle that person to anything from you.
Exactly.
That really bothers me. It's like, I think that's how rapes happen. It's like, oh, I think you're pretty. You're going to belong to me. It's like, that's horrifying to me.
But Twitch kind of encourages that kind of behavior because you can pay money to have your comment on the chat be big, huge, bold letters, make sure everybody hears it, and a robot voice will say it out to the influencer.
Okay, but...
And to everybody else who's watching.
And is this more of
So
the stuff
they're
that we
kind of
haven't
encouraging
evolved
it.
yet to handle mentally?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that
nothing's evolved to this, and this is kind of a new concept.
It really is, because you're not physically exchanging anything, really. It's all up here. It's all mental, right?
Exactly. Well,
It's the drip.
and speaking of that, like Burger King... God, sorry. They totally like they pulled a freaking 200 IQ move. Burger King went on and took advantage of this. They would go on the most popular streams on Twitch and start advertising through that. They'd pay $5, and the robot voice would say like the Burger King menu out or whatever their new promo product is on somebody's stream. They hijacked people's streams with their advertising.
Did they really?
There's this big controversy about it recently.
Oh.
People are trying to decide, is that legal? Where does that fall? Is that advertising or sponsorship? Is there a lot of people were pissed about it, like especially the streamers, because their stream was hijacked. They're trying to make money by playing video games or whatever they were doing on there
Burger
at the time.
King was stealing their market share.
And Burger King just hijacked it and posted their promo product on there, and all they got was $5. All the streamer got was $5 out of the deal.
That's
and not even that, because Twitch take a cut, so they probably got like $250 or some shit.
Does that feel like prostitution in a way?
It feels dirty. The whole thing feels dirty.
does.
And advertising to me has always felt dirty. It's weird, especially on TV. These commercials are so freaking toxic to me now.
Well, and as a person who loves human stories and psychology, you can see right through it. You can see. I know that most multinational corporations must have rooms full of advertisers that not only they've probably studied every aspect of how to get someone to part with their cash.
Yes.
And now
But
with
they're
Twitch and
professionals.
stuff, now you're parting with a part of your soul. It's like,
I want to know where that started. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember this guy's name. I've heard someone talk about this before. There's like this guy who was genius about it. Like when TV was kind of becoming big at the time, or maybe it was a little later than that. But like this guy got the this guy was like a psychology and marketing like guru, and he figured out how to make commercials to basically fuck with you. So that you had to buy the product.
oh, you're talking about, it's almost like the FOMO, the fear of missing out. The fear of missing out
he
is
figured
a
out
huge
that
thing.
he figured out that was a very powerful way to advertise.
Importance by
And
association.
ads have never been the same since. It's always either use sex to sell it, guilt people into buying it, make them feel like they're scared to. So now there's all these literal like predatory techniques they use to advertise to you, and it's not just on TV or radio.
It's everywhere.
It's literally everywhere.
Okay, it happens in your
Online
Facebook feed.
clickbait's a big thing now. That's getting.
If I went to look at
hate
polka
it.
dot underwear right now, my Facebook feed would have ads catered to that polka dot underwear. Like you never get a break from it unless you pay. That's another
Advertising
thing.
is crazy
They
now.
figured out now that humans will pay to be left alone.
That's true. Now, oh my God,
That's a
you're
whole
right.
other aspect of
Yeah.
it. I pay to be left alone.
I would too.
Yeah, I want to be left alone. If I want to buy something, I love to go research a product. And I really love
You're
people's...
a practical shopper then.
Well, I'm very frugal. I like reading other people's actual reviews, and I love playing a game where I can read the reviews made by people's friends and paid reviewers versus actual tangible reviews. That's one of my favorite things in the world. I know that sounds super nerdy, but it's fun because you can see what is an actually good product versus this person's trying to hustle me.
Yeah.
I hate being hustled.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like you were back. I have to bring this up with the Instagram thing. As a girl, because you've had the boy thing, I have an Instagram account for my pseudonym for writing that I do. And there's a picture of me on it. worst decision ever. I have discovered put random generic pictures of cats or something because this one hedge fund manager in Belgium would just not leave me alone. The first thing he did is send a picture of me shirtless.
Was he simp lording?
I don't know what he was doing because in my description it said married 20 years. Obviously I'm not an infant.
They don't care.
I know, but it was gross. And then it ratcheted up immediately beyond the shirt.
But he felt entitled to a response. I bet.
I think he did, because he sent me a picture. He did. He's like, hey, what's up?
It's a delusion, I'm telling you.
But why? If I'm like, I don't know. That's like with the whole being paid to be left alone. I want to engage with people on my terms. And I feel like that there's a constant push by people selling you things to force you to engage. It's sort of, that's maybe why it feels dirty.
Yeah.
I think it feels dirty to me because it's not just, hey, I have this really cool thing and I want to share it with you.
No, they're getting in your head with these psychological tricks to do it.
And I resent it.
That's what's dirty about it.
Yeah,
the product and the company is not dirty. It's they use literal tricks, predatory tricks to get you to buy their stuff. It's not just about putting the word out about their product anymore.
No.
It's about make them scared not to have it.
You're not cool if you don't have it. You're going to be a loser if you're left out. Hey, if you don't give this girl who's just talking about her hair extensions some money, you are a loser. I know that those are terrible things.
3-hour stream. This is how I do my makeup.
Look at my nails.
I'm not judging.
They're
I'm
so
just
hot.
making fun.
I don't. Hey, if somebody's gonna hustle people to make money, that is their business. They aren't really doing a bad thing. It's the people that are buying into it. I feel so bad. Are you lonely?
I just wish I could turn my webcam on and all of a sudden I have money rolling in like some of these women though. I don't see dudes doing that on Twitch at all. They have to play video games or they have to play guitar. They have to do all these things. Women can literally just log in and money starts rolling in.
I know, but ethically, that really bothers me. Like, so if you went and got a makeover and you wore like a bustier and you talked about your nails, would somebody give you money? Should we do a social experiment? Because
it's already been done.
I know.
Just look around.
It's so degrading, and I feel so. I'm not mad at the ladies because you got to eat. Mm-hmm. Humans have been doing this since.
Got to make money somehow. And actually, a practical skill wouldn't hurt either, though. Like a job. Get a job, or get a skill to get a job.
Well, and then you talk about there's this whole
stable
hustle culture, and it's really prevalent on YouTube, where they have these. You watch my video, get my course, sign up for this, do this, and it's this entrepreneurial hustle culture that you'll get rich quick. They don't actually ever offer a product. It's that if you buy their different levels and become part of their cult, then you might become rich too.
Now, again, there's 2 tiers to that. There's the scam ones.
And then people actually...
And then there's the real ones. Like, one of the real ones, for example, is the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the Robert Kiyosaki program.
Super cool.
It's the same kind of thing where it's like you have to buy his book set and go to his seminars and pay all this money. However, the knowledge he's teaching is literally tangible and effective, and it works. I've at least read one of his books, and I went to one of the seminars, and you gain some... Even the free seminar, you gain a little bit of knowledge from it, and it's awesome. And if you actually take the advice... you're probably going to make some money. But there's the scam ones that are just, like, stupid. They're just like, just take my... I wish I could show you guys examples. But, like, it's like, you pay $40. Like, the offer ends in 10 minutes. They have this website.
Yeah.
Where it's like, click on the link to get rich now. And you click on it because you're curious. And it's 3 a.m. and you're like, what the fuck? And so you click on the link and it takes you to this website, and there's this fake counter that goes off of your system clock on your computer. It doesn't have anything to do with like the time actually running out, but it's an advertising technique to make you scared. I'm gonna miss out.
FOMO.
Hashtag FOMO.
Yep.
So you click the freaking link and it's like, the seminar starts in 5 minutes. Sign up now. And then if you put your email in, you'll never stop getting emails from these fucking people. But you watch this fucking 30-minute video of them just going on about how you can get rich, and you don't really get any tangible information. But then you have to pay $300 for this program. But don't worry, it usually costs $7,492, but we're giving you this exclusive offer now for $349. And so you pay if you are stupid enough to pay the $349, you get nothing. You get absolutely nothing.
If 1,000 people are paying that $349. And statistics is how those kinds of things keep going. Mm-hmm. I have a friend who is successful. Okay, it's layersoflearning.com. She and her sister wrote this curriculum. They have spent 10 years, because they also had to be parents at homeschool doing this. They are doing quite well now. The reason they are doing well is they gave away a ton of stuff for free because they actually care about what they're doing. You can go to their website and there are free things, but then there are also things that are reasonably priced that they have put a ton of work into.
Yeah. That
if you see how genuine and how they're passionate about what they do, and free. You give stuff away for free to people. They're going to come back and be like, you build like this sense of, what is that? It's like an ethical relationship with someone that, hey, this person cares enough about what they're doing to give me something, and then maybe I might give them, or maybe not. Do you know what I mean? I like that model.
Let the product sell itself.
Yeah, and the people, because
that's the mindset behind that type of advertising.
That's how influencers work too. Is if you see, when you're laying on a lumpy mattress at 3 a.m. and your life is maybe not where you thought it would be because of how old you are, and then someone says, I became rich, click here and I'll show you how. That's how you fall for it.
Yeah, the stupid testimonials. And most of them are fake, by the way.
They are. They're designed to...
I can give literally anybody $20 and say, can I get a picture of you? And, a quick fake testimonial. Or sometimes they don't even do that. They just get a picture of someone and they make up the testimonial. It's not hard.
Most of what's on
the internet, if
anyone's
ever designed a
real.
website, you'll realize you can put anything on that fucking website.
And see, I think
Doesn't
that's why
matter.
I'm
Doesn't
not
have to be
uber
real.
wealthy, is I can't do that to people. I know what the pain results from that. That a person's even to that point means that they're feeling something.
Mm-hmm.
The worst FOMO I ever saw was the bull crypto market of 2017. People were mortgaging their house to buy Bitcoin. I have never seen anything, because I've been in crypto for quite a long time now. Because I think it's the future and it's interesting to me how it all works, that it has complete privacy but yet complete transparency. Yeah. I love the idea. When I start seeing people mortgaging their houses and buying stuff on credit cards when it's overvalued, and according to the laws of mathematics it's going to correct, that bothers me. And that is what happens in advertising all the time. It's like giving that guy that you don't even know $349 for absolutely nothing is terrifying to me. Going to Reddit Personal Finance and seeing people, actual tangible people, talking about personal finance and them recommending things to you is more of a human experience that I think is going to help you grow.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's more advice versus bullshit. So it's
but see, it's all about that, getting that dopamine drip quick. You cannot get rich quick unless you are a trust fund baby.
We're in a world of instant gratification at the moment.
It doesn't work. You've got to put the work. Like podcasting, they said
nothing comes for free, guys.
Average timeline of being, getting some traction on podcast is 3 years. Well, you know what? To do something for 3 years, you better damn well like doing it.
That's true.
You know what? That's
how many people are at their jobs right now and have been there quite some time.
Well, because of the Rona.
Same thing.
Yeah, because of the Rona right now, everybody's a podcaster. Okay, like everybody, it's a big thing right now. If you look at any of the podcast forums, how many of those people are going to be there with us next year? Do they truly love it, or
God
they
only knows.
And I think that's anything.
Attention spans are quite short nowadays too.
Well, yeah. Does people? When I was a kid, I remember Beanie Babies. People are like, "This is the future."
They're worthless now.
I know.
Yet they still cost $18 or something. It's like, come on, what?
Because people spend thousands of dollars on them, and I'm like, it's a little stuffed polyester creature. Like, and that's, don't get caught up in things. I think that's a big. And I'm not going to dispense advice. It's just, I feel like as a human, if you feel this, I got to do this right now. Step back and be like, no, you don't. And
part of that, I think, like, especially because of just the internet, like the .com boom, and like how many businesses are just online now. Mm-hmm. The supply and demand curve has completely shattered. That used to be how business worked. All businesses, every market in the whole world, supply versus demand on a graph. That's been shattered. Nothing matters anymore.
It is so weird out there now.
Yeah.
Well, that people pay people to watch girls just sit there blows my mind.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no such thing as supply and demand anymore. It's all about, like, these tricks. It's all about trickery now.
I just want to give people a hug. Like, that you would be so isolated and lonely that some random girl, you would just sit and watch her. I'm like, what the heck happened in your life?
Yeah.
Or that you're having such a hard time financially. Like, maybe I think about this all the time. Do a bunch of us need to just get together and start working towards solving some of this stuff instead of just staying isolated because we're exhausted by the noise of the world? Because I'm exhausted by the noise of the world. I'm not going to lie. I want to just.
There's more than ever now, and maybe it's because of the internet.
I love the internet, though. It is.
I do too. It's
the
great.
Greatest thing in the whole universe to me.
Again, it boils down to is social media the problem? I don't know.
Well, and I don't want some bureaucrats.
But really,
making rules about it, because that's not going to help.
I know.
Well, look at what they did. Anytime something new comes out, a bunch of people get, like you're vaping, a bunch of people get concerned. The Karen thing, and then they got to make rules about it. And 9 times out of 10, I feel like that makes it worse.
The soccer mom army.
Oh, gosh. It's like, no, because now there's social media. Some parents, the too over-involved ones, they use their social media to spy on their children.
Uh-huh.
I hate that. That's training people to be okay with being surveillanced all the time. It's like they're gonna have to go out and figure out how to live.
Exactly.
Is that why so many young adults live at home now? I know the economy there. That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, we're going into a whole nother episode realm here, but like seriously though, it needs to be talked about at least eventually.
I feel so bad.
It's important
for people 30, 35 and under. I know I'm right on the edge of that, but I do because I did it. I've owned my own home since I was 21, but I married someone 18 years older than me, so that my metric is different than everybody else's. Whereas most people,
everybody is different. Period.
Most people, though, the idea of home ownership for people under 30 is just this fleeting. They can't even rent a house.
Yeah.
So,
but if you guys want to pay $29.99 today,
yes,
I can solve all of your financial problems.
We will show you the secret to being 100% successful.
Mm-hmm. Are you tired of your day job? Do you want more fulfillment in your life?
Fulfillment.
$29.99.
Our program that
Sign
doesn't
up now.
exist.
It doesn't exist. I'm joking, obviously.
It's gonna. And we shouldn't mock. I just hate advertising that preys on human misery.
Yeah,
that is
me
probably.
too.
I don't mind advertising in and of itself, but toxic advertising drives me nuts.
I still like the model where you get free stuff and the
love
product
that one.
sells itself. That's how it should be. The product. If you don't have a good product, you shouldn't have to use. If you have to use trickery and nonsense and psychological like charlatanism, you don't have a good product.
No. And the ultimate advertising model,
or the market's flooded, and you just shouldn't.
The patron model.
It is just what it is.
I love being supported by people who value what you do. I think it's the greatest. That is how most products that have become trends and rose above the mess come out of there. Is people are
crowdfunding.
Like, I love crowdfunding.
That is a new thing too. That only has happened within the last 20 years. I mean, I'm sure before then it was like you could meet in front of a board of like investors and get the stuff like that. But you really couldn't reach the general public for investment unless you go door to door and do all these weird things. Now you can just sign up on Kickstarter or whatever the other ones are.
There's GoFundMe.
But
now there's crowdfunding just for people who want their bills paid. Have you seen that? Like, I know multiple people personally right now that are going through hard times, and they are crowdfunding just to get their bills paid. You need to get on the internet more, and that's weird because you're on it all the
basically
time.
Digital beggars, like street beggars.
Oh, it's a huge. See, they went. Yes, like.
And I'm not saying that to disparage them. I'm just like trying to make an example of like how that seems to me.
No, it is exactly what it is. It's like you'll go on there and be like, "Hey, I created this only fans account," and that is exactly what
digital
it is.
panhandling. That's interesting.
And sometimes it's legit. Like say that you're struck and you can't work, and you're like, "Hey guys,
there's nothing wrong with that either. Like if there's people willing to help, like that's cool, and that shows like human compassion and all the good things about humanity.
But they're scamming too.
But there's, of course, on the flip-flop, yes, there is probably some scammers on there who really don't need the money or anything like that. They're going to just make up a sob story. This is the problem with the internet. You don't know the other person on the other end of that.
I think it takes out all of the biochemicals of discernment.
Yes, exactly.
Because when you're standing in front of someone, if they're lying to you, your body, not everybody's in tune with this, but usually you can be like, oh, this person is legit, or this person's trying to hose me, unless they're really good at it. On the internet,
can't do that.
It's really hard.
It's like if there's a blind man begging for money on the street.
You can tell he's blind.
You can tell he's blind, but if you can't, you can like fake throw a punch at him, and if he flinches, you can you're kind of full of shit, man.
I've never done that. I feel like I've missed out. Wow.
I'm just making a crude example. I've never done this or anything, but like I'm just trying to
trying
to make an analogy essentially. But on the internet, like if someone's saying they're blind, you don't fucking know if they're blind or not. Like
you can't possibly. There are fake. What is it they call deep fakes? There's
deep fakes even more.
Yeah,
man.
there's fake stuff that exists solely to manipulate people.
Get ready for the world, guys. These deep fakes are getting scary. Like
they are.
And if somebody really wanted to, if there's some fucking shadow government, they can just make a fake video of like Trump telling us what to do.
I feel like
it wasn't even Trump or anything like that. Like I don't know. It's just scary. Like. Have you guys seen the Obama ones? Like, it sounds real, looks like Obama. It's really freaking getting... And this is the infant stage. Like, this just started. Like, in 20 years, how are the deepfakes going to be? Like, Duncan Trussell had an entire episode on this with one of the guys who partly invented the technology of deepfakes. And he was saying, like... Duncan was saying, like, I predict, like, you're going to have some kind of code word to use with your friends to make sure that you know you're real because, like, the deepfake isn't going to know the code word. But if all of a sudden you're just going to get this phone call from what you think is your friend and they're going to tell you what to do or tell you these things and they're not real and the friend's not real, it's a deep fake and and they're trying to scam
But
you.
it sounds just like him. It looks just like
So
him. It's
we're gonna have these like code words and code phrases to use with your
but they'll
friends.
learn those.
Yeah,
That's
and
the
eventually,
problem.
they'll learn those, and you have to evolve. So I don't
It's
know.
so
It
exhausting.
can be. I can see where it can be used for nefarious things. I don't even know what the real practical use of a deepfake is, other than to make stupid TikTok videos.
I feel like it's manipulation.
Yeah, it's cool technology, but what is it for, other than to scam people, to be malicious? I don't see any other
I feel
intent
like it's
for
going to
this
be
product.
used in advertising. Think about
That's
it.
all I see is for advertising. Otherwise, it's kind of a fun little thing, and I can see maybe how Hollywood could use it to steal the identities of dead actors that they think they own, because they're already doing that. But other than that, like, I don't see a practical use for deepfakes other than to scam people and to be malicious and to fuck with other countries. Like
Well,
as a weapon, I can see it being weaponized in politics, in geopolitics.
What's happening with them
And
right
that scares
now
me more
is
than
they're
anything.
using deepfake like people, reporters. So they're actually hired by companies and writing stories because see everything's done remotely now, and they're swaying public opinion. A person that doesn't even exist. So
Yeah.
it's like what? And I feel like in advertising that's going to be a problem too. It's like they get your algorithm, they know what you want, like, and buy, and so they're going to tailor it using stuff that doesn't even exist. That's why I said the noise.
The noise.
I feel like there's going to be communes of people coming, if it hasn't happened already, that are just going to cloister themselves from the noise. And then what's going to happen? Like, there's people that like
Then
noise.
they're gonna drink some Kool-Aid and die.
Do you think it's Jonestown
It's
style?
gonna be Jonestown style. Maybe, I don't know. If
I don't know.
could be completely wrong.
Like,
I'm just joking, really.
I
but.
feel like we're hurtling towards some sort of singularity as far as that goes. Well, is that the
Well,
wrong
that
word?
is kind of what some of the
The brains.
some of the big brains are
Brains.
saying. Big brain,
Big brain.
big wrinkly. But yeah, we are headed towards what you could call a singularity of technology
Do you
and
think we're
human
gonna
immersion.
get there?
I don't know. It's just weird, like, and with the deepfakes, it's not just faking someone who already exists. There's machine learning that can now create faces that don't exist. I think it's like notarealface.com or something. I don't know if that's the actual website, but Google not a real face or something like that. But it's like there's these machine learning technologies that can now just create an entire identity out of thin air that doesn't exist, completely new face just based on patterns.
Do we need
And it does it very efficiently and very scarily. And so now all of a sudden, like, fake people exist and they talk very fluently because the machine learning listens to thousands of hours, if not millions of hours of people talking, vocal inflections, different languages, different conversations, different contexts. And it can understand all of these things to create a fake conversation.
But just because you can, should you? Because I feel like we almost need like an army of ethicists that are not employed by any one organization or the government because there's so many things happening right now.
Total independent ethicists.
Independent ethicists. You know, like, because ethics are a huge part of this.
Yeah.
Like, should you do this to humans? Have we studied the negative repercussions of such things?
Yeah.
We know now what was done to a lot of people in the last century was horrifying.
Yeah.
In the name of science and progress.
Science.
So it's like, are we progressing in a way that's going to just incredibly, irreparably damage us? Or are we going to adapt? I don't know.
Well, George Orwell would like to think we are.
Well, and I'm a futurist. I'm all excited about all the advances. I
me
just feel
too.
like that there's a lot of
It
stuff
scares me.
that's hurting people, and we haven't even. Okay, I feel like before advancing, sometimes you need to look at the damage that your advancement causes and kind of address
They
that.
never will. That's a later down the road thing. And somebody on a recent not a recent one, maybe it was a couple of years ago, but I'd listened to this podcast and this guy was saying like how a lot of the scientists and people developing these new technologies and stuff, they don't have time to think about the repercussions. They are more focused on how is this going to change humanity. Most of the time it's for good, you know what I mean? Good intentions, again, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but
It absolutely
these
is.
scientists and technology developers, they're more focused on getting the product out and making sure it functions as, you know, it's intended to. Then they react to the problems later and change it if needed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because
But for the most part, they're just not focused on. They don't have time or energy to focus on this,
They're
on the
chasing,
repercussions.
Well, I happen to know some scientists, and they're so into their research that the repercussions of it are like a secondary. You're right. It's not their focus. Their focus is about we're going to change the world.
And I'm sure sometimes in the back of their head they have, like the guy who invented the nuclear bomb.
Yes. Well,
I'm sure in the back of his head the whole time he was like, this is not good, this is not good, this is not good. But I'm sure he had a gun to his head saying, develop this, develop
Well, and
this,
also
develop
I feel
this.
like there
It's
was
not
this-
always a gun to the head situation, but like, I'm sure he also didn't have a lot of time and energy to focus on the bad things that could happen with this. Maybe he, in his mind, was convincing himself this could be awesome because we could have all this infinite energy for, a little bit of resources.
I think that they think about the awesomeness of things instead of the negative of it, which is how they create. And I think that's kind of awesome. Really, we need that. But we also need other people who are like, hey, look what this did over here. Let's make sure that we set up some framework so that this never happens again, and that we use yours for truly what you intended it, which was defensive or to protect people, or and that has sort of happened with nuclear weapons. We haven't used them really again since we saw how horrifying it was.
Knock on wood.
Well, yeah, we both knocked. I mean,
tensions are high in the world nowadays.
Think of some of the people that could have let them go off, and they haven't.
That's true.
So, yeah, tensions are high in the world. I think tensions are high in the world because there's so much noise.
That's too much noise.
I mean...
And we don't have any way to cancel it out.
Look at
Unless you just unplug, turn everything off, which is hard nowadays because...
Look how divided our people are just over a stupid election.
I know.
I hate it
Although those debates were lit.
I know you were excited about it.
I cannot wait for round 2.
It's going to be fun.
I don't know if Trump's trying to dodge the bullet or what. Maybe he really does have COVID. I'm sure he really does have COVID. I don't want to be the guy. But come on, give us a sequel, man. I'm loving these. I don't care. I stopped caring about the politics and the repercussions. And now I'm just focused on this is entertaining. This is entertaining. I love it. I don't care what they're talking about anymore. I love the little back and forth crap.
Isn't that sad?
I can get the politics later. I'm just loving the interactions. They're so entertaining.
You like the drama.
The drama, yeah.
Well, it feels scripted anyways.
It is scripted. Come on.
So you might as well enjoy it for what it is.
Come on. They're not really fighting over anything.
Some person is going to lecture you. Well, you don't care. And that's just it. I feel like so much noise has made us full of apathy. Because I don't care as much as I used to. I used to care a lot more.
We have fatigue.
I think
we have a lot of fatigue for a lot of different things nowadays.
What is the word I'm looking for? Where you're just constantly assaulted with stuff all the time that you have fatigue. It's like a type of fatigue. I think we're all suffering from it. Some people just...
But human adaptability, we are holding on.
Well, we are. We're amazing creatures.
Everybody, we're just going. We're just getting in there and just going.
Well, we can.
It doesn't matter what life throws at us or what we throw at each other. Like we're still going. The sun's gonna come around the freaking horizon no matter what every day.
I know our lifespans are gnat-like in the scope of everything, and so really, I don't know. They've got more opportunity, more input than ever in history, and yet there's this massive anger and sadness everywhere, and it's like, how do you fix that?
I don't know. Maybe, has it always existed and now it's just amplified?
Maybe that's why it feels so harsh, is because you're aware of it, the largesse of it. I think people, I don't know, have people always been miserable?
I think so, because happiness isn't a permanent thing. Happiness isn't a state that you live in. Happiness is like you get waves of it. It comes in, it comes out.
Oh, yeah.
We are a concoction of emotions constantly. Sometimes we're sad and sometimes we're happy and sometimes we're mad and sometimes we're this and that and the other thing. And because again, I think in another episode previously we talked about this, but emotions are a reactionary response. They're not like a state that you live in.
And the state of your emotions is dependent upon how you are functioning as well. It's not just a single layer thing. It's like if your nutrition's bad, you're going to be down more if you're not moving your body enough, if you don't get enough vitamin D. And then also it's just like you said, it's an up and down roller coaster.
But if you look at it from a survival aspect, emotions are there as a tool. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of how I've been able to be my own psychiatrist, is when I realized emotions are a tool. They're not something that control you necessarily, but they're supposed to be a signal to tell you things, especially pain.
So being able to take yourself out and identify.
In a way, you can turn them off, or at least heed the warnings they're trying to give you, or the rewards they're trying to give you. But emotions are a reactionary thing, and they can be used as a tool. They're supposed to be used as a tool because they've helped us survive for possibly millions of years or however long we've been here.
Well, and I think that's why living in the moment is so important and being content. Contentment does not mean being happy. Content means that you know that in this moment you are experiencing this emotion for this particular reason, and then you're going to move on to the next one without losing your mind or doing something harmful to yourself.
Exactly. And it is just what it is, I guess. But I think since the dawn of time, we've been angry or scared or upset or even happy or whatever. We just all the time, all these different emotions. So it's hard to claim that society is one single thing.
Oh no, I
It's
don't think I'd ever be arrogant enough to do
But
so.
there's still like an atmosphere of like angst and anger kind of floating around with everything going on.
And I
But
think
again, since it's reactionary, it's like, well, look at the events we're facing as humans right now.
Yes.
It's kind of scary. We've got this global pandemic. Politics are all fucked up. We're in an election year. Tensions between countries are high right now. Possibly another war coming. We're having an energy crisis, a food crisis. We're having all these crises that may or might not be that important. Global warming, all this other stuff.
And I think I just hit on what the difference is even 50 years ago, you were not assaulted with as many crises as we are now.
That's true.
And now your brain is having to be assaulted by it all at once.
Yeah. Everything's more global now, too.
Yeah.
As before, it's like, it was a lot easier before the internet and before, like, all these things to kind of more or less focus on the moment and what's going on in your life at the moment and what you can control now. But now everybody's connected. We're all talking about the same things, so everything becomes more global,
and it's
globally aware,
and it's quicker.
So it's like we're kind of more like aware of bigger situations, and that's why we're addressing like global warming at the moment.
I think it's sort of
because it's always been a thing. Climate has always changed one way or the other, but now we can all talk about it as a planet. As a family, as one big human race.
Is it awareness fatigue?
And before we couldn't do that.
Awareness fatigue.
Awareness fatigue may be a thing.
That's what it is. Because think about
awarenessism.
Your ancestor years ago that had just one TV channel.
Yeah.
And the newspaper.
Which scares me, by the way. That's a whole other episode about like propaganda. But yeah.
Well, I know it's scary, but think about it. They opened up the newspaper and there's a flood in India. They're not being assaulted with the flood in India. Trump's got COVID. There's an asteroid that barely missed us. Like, all within a 5-minute time frame. Not even 5 minutes. 1 minute. Your brain takes all that in. And so I feel like you feel this anxiety.
Have you seen some of like the cable news networks nowadays?
Oh, it's an assault.
It's just like you've got a ticker at the bottom with 10 different news stories going on really fast. You've got like the fucking NASDAQ and stock exchange information over here. You got the talking head trying to fucking scare you into whatever. You got a fucking interview going on over here. They cut back and forth to commercials. There's all these logos everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, have you guys ever seen the movie Idiocracy? Where the entire world's just advertising everywhere. A lot of things are going on and like this and that and the other thing. That's what it looks like to me.
Well, and that's what I felt like. Remember Google Glasses, how they were talking about we were all going to wear these things, which I think it's going to be more of an augmented implant myself.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm talking about, the feed. We're going to have tailored, customized feeds. In the Neil Stephenson book I told you about, which one was it? I think Read Me or whatever. The feed was constantly customized to you, and you never got to turn it off. Like, it was just, and I feel like that's
and again, be glad that it's customized to our specific needs based on whatever information that they can get from us.
Well, they had to learn to
because,
do that.
I mean, if I had like advertising being directly inputted into my brain with these implants that is possibly going to happen in the future, I wouldn't want a tampon ad. I'm a man. I don't need a tampon ad. So but that would happen if it wasn't tailored to my needs. And I'm kind of glad it's tailored to my needs, but at the same time, I have all these questions and these concerns about the information they have on us. And I'm also one of the people who feel entitled to getting money for all the information they steal from me. Even if I put it out there and I use their product, but I still feel entitled to like, you guys should pay me a little bit of money since I'm giving you this information for free. I wish that we had an advocacy for that.
But I feel like
there is some people advocating for that too. It's just not going very well.
Sometimes the greatest learning experiences and existential experiences come from this random thing popping into your life. And I feel like we're losing some of the randomness with all of this. What is the word? When you cater something, not cater, choreographed, curated.
Curated.
Everything is becoming
Everything's curated now.
And I feel like that takes some of the, whimsy out of life.
The whimsy?
Yeah, like...
It kind of, yeah.
You know what? I get excited by just some random thing happening. Like the other day, it reminded me of my Facebook post this morning that 4 years ago in our parking lot, some kid had used a red log as a bumper on his truck. He spray painted it red. I thought it was great.
It's pretty funny.
Random things. And random things make you feel a little bit of joy. Maybe
That's what
not
Reddit's for.
That's true. I do like random.
But it's what you're saying is like you kind of do have to go out of your way now.
To get the random, yes.
Yeah.
Well, or everybody is so hateful. And I don't know if that's because...
Is that real, though? I've been kind of thinking about this, too. Okay. But I'll let you go real quick.
No, you go ahead. I'm talking about, okay, in my community, everybody is full of angst. Because I'm actually out in the community a lot, because I'm a librarian, and I have to go out for reasons of and everybody is in their little groups, and they're just barely restrained civility. And a lot of times there's no civility at all. And I'm all, how did this happen?
Yeah.
The Rona? Did the Rona make us hateful?
Was it the Rona?
Were we hateful before and it's just amplified it? Advertising?
I think, I don't know. That's a really hard question to answer because there's a lot going on, and
But Brady, you're
it's
supposed
hard
to know.
Everybody wants a dragon to slay, but this one's hard to pick the right dragon.
I think it's a multi-headed Hydra. You cut
Yeah.
one head off and more
man,
heads
we're
come
going
off.
into tinfoil hat land. Hydra.
Hydra.
Heil
Oh,
Hydra.
not that Hydra.
No, I'm just joking.
Okay.
But that's a good analogy, like really.
Yeah, because you cut one head
We're
off.
all dragon slayers now because we have a keyboard.
And warriors.
Yeah,
we
we're
are the
all
Sir
keyboard
Georges.
warriors. So
I have never.
and everybody
no.
seems like they want a dragon to slay. They have to fucking have an enemy now.
Does that give you validity to slay some dragon? Like I
have
don't.
we all just been Here's the question: have we all just been watching too much TV?
Maybe too many superhero movies. Marvel,
Too many
is this
everything?
your fault?
Are we all just consuming too much media?
I think that might be part of the problem.
How has it changed our brains? How has it changed our evolutionary cycles? How has it changed us? Do we know? Most of us don't pay attention to it. I don't all the time. I'm also just a deep thinker, so I start to think about these kind of things, and it scares me.
That might be part of the
It
problem.
also hurts my brain because everything's so complex nowadays. There's so many nuances and in context.
My brain is fatigued because I can't. Okay, I love to think deep, complex thoughts. I am so overwhelmed with all the minutia of life that I don't get to have my deep
Minutia.
thinking time.
There's so much minutia now.
There is so much minutia
I think our lives are just more full now. Our
That's
plates
because
are
of the availability of
overfilled.
information.
Even at the dinner table, our plates are too full.
Who gets to sit and eat dinner with their people? Like I don't every night because we're full of too much.
We
to
make
do.
a point of it at our house. We have to have all of the family at the dinner table.
When my kids
Most
were
of the
little,
time,
we
it's
did that.
just yelling at the kids to eat their damn dinner because
That's
they're
true.
5. But we make sure we have family dinner time because it's important.
We did that when my kids were little. Now though, scheduling like you've got one in
Yeah.
practice, and when they're older, high school,
yeah,
age,
it gets
it's
a little more
harder. So
complicated,
we try
yeah.
to do it on Sundays.
I'm kind of dreading it because I know it's going to happen. Like
Yeah.
the girls just started dance class, and it's already getting more complicated on that day to like, okay, how am I going to cook dinner and get them to bed on time, get them showered, and all this other stuff? It's like,
Oh, so see, you
woo,
still
it's
have,
so fun.
You still have existential things.
much going
like,
on.
You still have to do the parenting and
Yep.
take care of stuff. But then every quiet moment is assaulted. Well, that's why you play Red Dead, though, is escapism.
I love escapism.
I would like to
But there's just not enough hours in the day. I would so be one of those people if they created a simulation video game that you could log into with your brain and just go
you'd
into
be
that
there.
world, literally go into that world. Like possibly that's how the world is nowadays, and that's what we're experiencing. But that's a whole nother episode. Simulation theory for the win. But like if that is a real thing and we created again like a simulation within a simulation, I'm diving in full. I don't care.
You're just going to go full
I'm
Ready
gonna-
Player One. You're
I'm
going
gonna
in
figure out a
there.
way to pay for a life support system so I can just be in there for the whole time.
But that
I don't
means
care.
you're not living
I'll come
in
out
the
every
real
once in a while,
simulation.
maybe get some fresh air, but
Because
I don't know.
you're in the simulation
But where's
right
the
now.
qualia?
That's what I'm saying. Qualia is a big deal.
If we are in a simulation, how did they figure out the qualia? And is the life above this? If we're in a simulation, is the outside life out of the simulation even more fulfilling and satisfying and full of different experiences that we can't even comprehend? I don't know. This is
qualia
deep,
is
deep
not
stuff,
only
guys.
possible,
Deep stuff.
like not only a positive thing. Like right now, you've got like nerve pain shooting down your neck. You've
Mm-hmm.
got, I can smell something in this house that's driving me nuts while I'm talking to you. All of these things are happening. Well,
That's just me.
No, Brady, it's probably my feet. I was in a calf stall earlier. But that's what I'm saying. Are we in a simulation right now? And then we're being annoyed by the coming simulation of our inner. It's just a lot to think about. And advertising playing into that.
If we are in a simulation,
What simulation?
why does it suck so bad? Why is so much angst going on right now?
I think
Is
free
the
will.
game broken? Have they not? Can we get a patch?
I think in order to have free
Or
will,
did
it
the
has to
developers
suck,
just
Brady.
abandon the game?
You can't have free will without the sucking part.
Yeah,
You can't.
I love it.
Yeah, that's a. Oh,
I'm trying to think
that's
of that movie, The Matrix. Oh, of course, The Matrix.
Of course, the Matrix. There
Where
were batteries.
They at first, if you guys dove deep into The Matrix like I did, at first they created a perfect utopia Matrix version.
And we didn't
And
handle it well.
we didn't handle it well and just killed it. We started killing each other and shit because we needed the choice to be miserable.
To have free will.
We needed the choice to be miserable.
All
To balance everything out. Yin and yang, guys. Come on. These freaking ancient Chinese people were onto something with the whole, like, you have to have positive and negative because you can't know positive without negative.
Okay, but then right there, like the simulation, you're talking about jumping in this uploading consciousness to the cloud or just being in a simulation. It can't even be all fun because we wouldn't like it. It has to have negative.
Yeah.
So
Our bodies are wired to, like, be happy and sad.
We need
So
the up and down.
even if we could artificially be happy all the time, that sadness is gonna break free.
Is that why
It's gonna break
advertising
through.
works on us? Because
Yes,
there's
probably.
we both respond to the positive and the negative of the advertising. Like, you see little kitties in a Humane Society video, and you're like, the kitties.
That's our animal shelter, by the way. If anyone's foreign, Humane Society.
Oh yes,
They're awesome, by the way, and
They're-
everybody needs to donate to them every once in a while. Come on.
They do.
Because
Don't
there
worry.
is an animal overpopulation problem.
People-
Spay and neuter your pets, please. Everybody.
Yeah, people who throw cats out on my farm because I have a farm. I paid.
We
to
could do a
spay
whole
and
episode
neuter
on this.
7 cats because somebody gave me 7 female cats over a 2-month period because I have a farm.
Mm-hmm.
Just because someone has a farm doesn't mean that they need animals dumped on them. Because I'm responsible. I'm going to take care of them. But yeah,
I volunteered at a Humane Society for a couple of years, and man, it's sad. People just literally drop pets off there.
They do. They just throw them out.
It's like, come on, guys. I don't know.
Well,
but that's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, we'll talk about animals.
Should we
another
even
episode.
have pets? Like, it's kind of weird. I've never understood the concept. I don't like having pets. I don't have pets. My wife has 2 cats. I don't like it.
I like your cats.
My children are hard enough.
They're not pets.
And sometimes I wish I could just go drop them off at a shelter. Just joking.
No, he's not.
Just joking. I drop them off here at Katie's farm instead.
Oh yeah, why not? Everybody else drops stuff on here. Hey, guess what, Katie? I got a goat. You want it?
They'll
No.
eat. There's plenty of grass out in the field. They'll eat.
Well, I have this compulsion to make sure.
I love
things
my
are
children, by the way,
comfortable.
guys. I'm just joking. Seriously,
Oh,
don't
everybody who's ever had a child to
Yeah.
take care of has a moment where they're just like, "Could I put you in a crate?"
don't cancel me, please.
Don't care.
It's just
You
a
know
joke.
what? If people,
Humor. Have a sense of humor.
I hate cancel culture, and we're gonna have to talk about that at some point. I hate
Would
it.
you guys like 3-hour episodes? Because I feel like I could keep going. We're at 1:15 roughly right now as far as this segment, and I would love to keep going. I don't want to stop right now.
I don't either.
Do you guys want long episodes?
Or should we just divide this?
Because
one
I
into two?
I like to keep talking. I don't even want to divide this one into. Let's just keep going.
Okay, let's just keep going.
If
Experimental
people-
time.
You know what? If we have too long of an episode, there's this thing called a pause button, and you can come back to it later.
Or just give us some feedback.
My wife does this all the time, where she's like, "It's too long," and I'm like, "You could pause it and then watch the rest later."
Yeah,
and not about our podcast, other things.
I do
like,
that on all sorts of things.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I got to come back.
Yeah, like when I was trying to convince Katie to watch the debates the other day, and she's really busy. She's got a very busy life,
I do.
and I was like, "You can just watch little 5-minute clips of it at a time and keep going."
Well, and it's I actually like it when people get into fisticuffs, and by fisticuffs I mean mental ones, because part of me is sad because I know what a debate's supposed to be because I was trained in debate a little bit, and then another part of me is like, but have we even followed those rules of engagement for a long time?
You've got to let go.
And
You got to let go. Because
know.
what we experienced was not a debate.
no, that wasn't. That was just a pissing
It was a
match.
shit fest.
Yeah,
And I loved it.
Because real debate is an art form.
Yeah.
And I like rhetoric.
It's so... The typical debates we used to see, though,
They're
are
super
kind of
sleep
boring. And it's mainly the format. Like, I really wish that Trump and Biden would have got on the Joe Rogan podcast and done the debate on there.
Across the table.
Because he would have allowed a lot more freedom. Instead of, you guys are only allowed 2 minutes to talk and you can't interrupt each other.
Do you think that ever
Yeah,
changed
nobody ever
anyone's
really.
mind?
I watched older debates, and it's like nobody ever really answers any questions. Nobody ever really gets their point across. 2 minutes is not enough time to really get a point across. What is with the debate format? And I love that Trump and Biden broke it. Mostly Trump. Let's be real.
Yeah, he did.
Trump is trying to shatter the system.
Well,
That's why I like him.
he's not a politician.
Don't hang me here. This is a hill I'm not willing to die on. But what I like about Trump is that he broke everything.
Well,
I don't like these structures we built, and I'm glad he's breaking them.
you're a person who's dissatisfied with the structure that people are keeping in perpetuity that's horrible and broken. And so when someone comes along and disrupts it, no matter who they are, it's intriguing to you. That's
Yeah.
basically what you're saying.
I like
it is.
change though. I like novelty.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with everything changing. It's again like we were talking about earlier when Joe Rogan changed his studio. Mm-hmm. Everybody's freaking out because nobody can change. What is with everybody's aversion to change? How do you think we got to this point right now from being cavemen?
You know what? You and I grew
Drastic
up in a perpetual
changes.
state of change, though, and
That might
we're
be
more
part of it.
adapted to it than most people. I
Yeah.
mean, I moved every 9 months.
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable when things are the same because I don't know what's going to come and change that comfort.
Yeah.
And and also I like change.
I don't think I've ever had a comfort zone, and that's my issue.
Well, we're starting
So
to
I'm
get
fine
one.
with change. I am fine with novelty.
I try to be. You know where my comfort zone is inside my cranium. That's the one place people
Yeah.
can't tell me what to do. I
Yeah.
can't tell me how to be.
That's why I like video games. I get to choose what I'm doing.
Choose Your Own Adventure. Those books are still very popular.
Choose Your Own Adventure is awesome.
Those
by
are
the way.
they're writing more of them because people love them so much.
That there was this Black Mirror episode on Netflix that you get to choose your own adventure on the Netflix app.
I don't know if I want
really
that power.
cool.
I don't know if I want that power in my simulation because I'd feel like I'd mess it up so bad.
Well, you
but
have that power in reality.
To a certain
You
extent,
are choosing your own adventure.
But there's
everybody out there. That's what life is. We're just in one big choose your own adventure.
Oh, and I want to say something. That applies to personal finance. Just because I know wages haven't kept up with inflation and I know it's really hard out there, but there are ways around everything if you're willing to put the work in. And if you aren't willing to be uncomfortable, you have no right to complain about your financial situation. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was a little lectury, I know, but I have to mentor a lot of people about this all the time. And it's like, you can do it.
You can.
And you know what? Talk to us about it.
Or suck it up and be okay with your situation that you're in now. There's two options.
You have to be content on some level.
There's two main paths here.
Yeah.
Be okay with what you're doing and stick with it, or change.
But if you get in this spiral of complaining all the time and blaming other people for your situation,
slay that dragon.
You gotta St. George or Sir George it.
Get it. Bust out that dusty old keyboard and slay that dragon on Twitter. Everybody knows that works.
There's always a way to make money, or just spend your life fighting on the internet. That's if that fulfills you, I'm not gonna judge you.
I'm not judging you.
But don't call Katie and be like, my life's miserable, and then take away my time when you can.
When you're not willing to change.
Well, or when you ask for someone for advice, do them a favor and listen to it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you need to rant.
Try to apply it at least. Unless it's bullshit advice, like buy my $29.99 course and you can get rich quick.
Oh, you totally can. And then we have.
I'm really trying to peddle that if you can't tell.
We have a $350 elite level course.
Yeah.
Where we will look at you for 15 minutes and somehow magic will happen, woo magic, and you will make all the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk to us about that too.
Yeah. If you guys want.
Yeah.
If you just give us money, I promise you'll be happy.
We might even say
I promise. I have magical powers, okay?
Yeah, we do.
Trust me. And this is a big thing. You have to trust me. Put all of your trust, all of your faith that you can possibly muster in me and give me $100 right now. And you're going to miss out. This offer only stands for 20 more seconds.
What?
Give me $100 now, and I promise I'll use my magical mystical powers that you don't know about that I can't prove to make you happy. And you'll be the happiest happy.
I got to log into PayPal.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah.
15 seconds.
But seriously, give me the money and you'll be happy. I promise.
How can you promise that?
You're going to miss out 20 more seconds.
No, that was 15 seconds ago. It's only 5.
20 more seconds. You're going to miss out. Buy now.
Do you guys see how horrible that is, though? Like, why do people fall for that? It's a one-time over.
Because it works, man. That shit works.
I know it does. It's that FOMO.
It's sad.
FOMO.
But you know what? If you got sucked into that, I'm sorry.
Hey, that's another thing. Learn from your mistakes and move on. I beat myself over my mistakes all the time, Brady. And you know what? Ranting is okay. Get together with a friend. Brady and I have these rant fest on Messenger or when we get together. And we're like, you will not believe what happened today. And I'm like, what? And that's good. You need a friend to rant with. If you can't rant with your Twitch person, that person is not your friend and doesn't care about you.
Exactly.
I feel like
rants are fun. That's why we have a podcast.
If you're not spending your entire life ranting is probably a good thing. No, that's not healthy.
Yeah, Alex Jones.
No.
Can you be happy just once ever?
I think Alex Jones might be happy when he's eating something, maybe.
Yeah. You want to know why he can't be happy?
Why?
Because nobody likes change and they won't accept it. They'll be like, I hate you, Alex Jones. How dare you be happy? I want to hear you rant about colloidal silver.
Or how about the cancel culture people in America, at least, where we have some semblance of freedom? You don't have to listen to anybody. Just turn it off.
Yeah, you can't. There's usually a power button on every device.
Get your group of friends together and just not support something, but you don't have to ruin their life just because you disagree with them.
Yeah, this cancel culture thing, man.
Maybe we should just talk about it. 3-hour episode.
Yeah, let's just keep going.
I wrote something about that in my book here. We were going to talk about that. What was that? It was back here a couple pages. I'm going to make some page rustling noises, people.
This cancel culture crap, man. Quality. You guys got to quit with the cancel culture. If any of you guys listening are part of the whole Twitter brigade of like, this comedian made a joke I didn't like, everybody else should be offended with me and we should take them down. Like Louis C.K.
You cancel the culture.
I know this is a little while ago and like society's moved on quite far from here, but like the Louis C.K. issue where he like jerked off in front of this chick who he had permission to do it. and then everybody canceled them because they don't like because the idea of jerking off made them uncomfortable or something. I don't know.
It's none of your business.
And then you leave him alone. Let the guy do whatever he wants. If the chick herself didn't like it, she could have took him down. But she doesn't need a Twitter army. Okay?
Well, and if
Go away. And he's like stand-up comedian. Comedy is raunchy.
Oh, coddle culture.
If you don't like
we'll talk
being
about that
uncomfortable, don't listen to stand-up comedy.
Or
like Hollywood at all. Hollywood is just nothing but debauchery. Come on.
Well, and
get out of town if you guys don't like it. Just get out of here.
And
turn off the TV. Go outside into the world. Oh, I'm sorry to break it to you. We're animals. Have you seen an animal documentary? Maybe that's the problem. Nobody's watched a National Geographic documentary, so they don't realize that nature is brutal. So they live in this coddle culture.
It is.
So everything's like perfect sunshine, rainbow, puppy dogs.
You do not have the right to never be uncomfortable. That's what it is.
If anything disproves the puppy dog rainbow world that they live in, they're uncomfortable and they have to cancel it. They have to kill it. Get it away from me. So it's like, guess what, guys? Reality check. Most of the animals in nature eat each other with their face
while they're still alive.
Yeah, or their claws.
Also,
or their venom.
Come to the farm.
It's brutal, guys.
When you watch a 700-pound sow kill her young because she instinctively knows something's wrong with it, and nature is metal, and you watch a huge pig kill this helpless baby pig and then eat it, then you're gonna think a little differently about nature. Nature is metal. It really is.
Nature's metal.
Yeah.
So, just guys, another thing. Maybe this is part of it. Is like, we are part of nature. Some people don't think we are. Maybe they live in this delusion land. We are animals. We might be smart. I get smart. I think that's all subjective too. Like, maybe we're not that smart. I don't know.
We're pretty smart.
But we are animals. We're just as brutal as everybody else. Quit complaining if a stand-up comedian says something you don't like. Come on.
Or make your own group. Don't try to run his life.
The whole orange guy bad bullshit. Come on.
Oh, I've never.
What do you want from him? He's a human being. He's fallible.
I've never
He's
seen
an animal
a reaction like to that person. And what's funny is he disrupted everything that all these people have been against forever. And I'm not a Trump apologist, but like, just look at it in context. Here comes a person who's not a politician. He capitalized on angst, got himself elected, disrupted everything, and then all these people who say they care about disruption and breaking the old guard are putting someone from the old guard back into the thing. And it's like, what actually are your principles?
What's really even going on?
Let's
look at it really like objectively. What the hell is it going on anymore? I'm so confused.
I am
the
too.
Zeitgeist right now.
It's just
I don't understand. I'm disconnected, I guess.
And the cool thing is we have the absolute freedom to step beyond the traditions and all this stuff, because traditions are just peer pressure from dead people. We can step beyond it and do something different, and nobody does.
Why are we still doing Christmas? We all know it's just a ploy by the toy companies to sell toys.
I'm not doing Christmas this year. I'm so proud.
Yeah. And why are we still doing Halloween? Everybody's obsessed with like, Halloween's canceled. Like, it's just a way to sell candy.
You could buy candy literally any other time of year.
The basis of what Halloween's based on is so long ago. Yeah. I don't even know what Halloween's about.
Samhain? Well, it was...
I don't feel it anymore. Like, it's not part of our culture anymore.
The way we celebrate is an American
It's all just
holiday.
like, let's go door to door in these costumes we bought and buy this candy that people bought. It's all capitalism. We don't have to do it.
You know what used to be neat?
It's fun, though. I mean, come on, it is fun.
The poor times...
I do it with my kids.
Is you used to make your costume and have a little party with your friends, and it was more of a social gathering, but that part has been eliminated more. I don't know, it's different now.
It's just weird that there's still all these really, really old traditions that like the meaning of them is so far gone now.
Oh, Easter?
We're not part of the culture that it started in anymore.
No, we're not. Well, that's just
But we still do it just because, like, that's what we've been doing. Why are we perpetuating the things that we've been doing just because we've been doing them? I've never understood this.
Oh.
It's been one of my biggest, like,
But you can rebel against it. Okay, Thanksgiving. 3 years ago, I started Fun Family Feast because the idea of me having to cook for 2 days to celebrate something...
Why are we still doing it?
Well, I decided what our family does for Thanksgiving is we decide all the favorite foods that we each like, and we get them and collect them, and on Thanksgiving, we don't do any cooking. We throw them out on the table, and we have family time. We play board games, and there's no family drama because you know what? I'm going to say a good majority of Thanksgivings in America contain family drama and misery. You know why? I've been to a lot of them. Why do you want to do that? Why do you want to sustain that tradition?
It's a myth at this point.
It really is. Your uncle is like hateful and going to spout about politics. Yeah. Your mom has to do all the work, or your aunt.
Yeah.
Then you got your one cousin that fights with your other cousin. Sometimes it ends in fisticuffs. There's super a lot of emotional blackmail and passive aggressiveness. Your grandma's like, hey, you got a job yet?
Yeah.
Think of all of these things.
And
Why do you do that?
And I'll speak for most people, like, if you're invited to the family gathering or you're hosting it, like, it's just stress, so much stress. Why do we do that to ourselves? Just to keep this tradition going. We have to have Thanksgiving.
Or Christmas. Every year for the last...
Why are we still doing it?
Every year for the last 3
I don't
years,
understand it. It's
I
nice.
have gotten filthily ill at Christmas because I overdo it way too much. And
Yeah.
when I talk about overdo it, I mean, like, I was so sick 2 Christmases in a row that I had, like, I think it was the flu. And one of them was so bad, I almost had to be put in the freaking hospital. And I was thinking, why do I do this? And so this year, people, I am getting on a plane on Christmas Eve, and I'm going to Mexico with my friend whose husband just died because she's lonely, and I am not going to do any of it. I'm going to, you know what? Traditions only change when people say, hey, this is dumb, and we're going to do something else.
Yeah. And it's like, I just don't understand it. Like, the
Societal pressure.
the reason these holidays exist was like so many years ago. Like, it's just not happening anymore. So why do we still do it? Like, we don't feel the same way as like in the 14th century, whatever these holidays were invented. I don't know when Christmas was invented, but like, it's not the same anymore. Like, why are we still doing it? Now it's just like, we gotta put up the stupid tree with these stupid ornaments, with these stupid presents, and like spoil the fucking kids rotten. Why do we do that? I don't understand.
And not everybody celebrates
I'm guilty,
it.
but like, why?
I have my pagan friends, my Jewish friends, atheist
yeah, there's so many
friends.
different ones.
There's Muslim friends. They aren't celebrating that, and so they get the time off. I know that we created all of this, and it's part of our culture in our country, but we don't have time off for Diwali. We don't have time off, you know, and so I think about this, I'm like, is it really fair?
It's so weird to me, man. I never understood it. I
You
just don't
can't appease
understand
everybody. So, like, maybe as humans, I do believe holidays and breaks are good for humans, especially humans that work all the time.
Yeah.
So, I think we do need to factor that into our culture of existence, but I don't know how to do it fairly.
There's no such thing as fair.
Well, there's a way to try. You can't appease anybody. Let's just be honest there.
Yeah.
You're always going to make someone mad. So you've got to do what is good for you and your family group, right?
Yep.
My family group doing Christmas is not good because I turn into a rampaging beast who's trying. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, which I've finally gotten over. I think that's the
That comes with age.
I think it does. Well, and when you're raised to make sure that you are considerate of people, you have to learn how to be considerate and also say no. And now I literally do not care if you get mad at me. It's like, you know what? I'm not trying to make you mad. But if you are, that is on you.
Yeah.
Because I'm a reasonable human. If you come to me and say, hey, your behavior upset me, I would apologize and be like, well, I'm going to do this.
Talk through it.
Yeah. And you know what? I think conflict resolution is a huge problem.
Can that be taught in schools?
I think it needs to be.
Because, like, God, let's go on a rant about the education system.
Oh,
like we were talking about before. I don't feel like you get truly prepared for life. And again, I mean, yeah, technically it's supposed to be the parents to do that.
Not if they're all having to work 40,000 hours.
Schools are really supposed to be just like your basic fucking academia. Get you ready to take a test. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's a 19th
I could go on all
model.
fucking day.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to piss everybody off. Like, I love teachers. They're doing a great job.
Oh, I'm not.
But they're only doing the best they can with what they're given to work with, and that's this bullshit curriculum.
It's also tradition.
That doesn't do a goddamn thing for real, and it's tradition.
Yep.
And of course, the government doesn't want to give them any more money
because
they want to build more bombs.
Money,
they do get a lot of money. Yeah, it's wasted on
traditions.
On traditions and fucking administration.
Or health insurance for a teacher costs. They have to pay like $500 a month, and then the teacher has to pay $500 a month.
That's so bullshit.
Because do you know that most educational spending goes to pensions?
Mm-hmm.
In Idaho, it does. And
pensions and administrative.
And I want to take care of those people that
help.
serve the kids and stuff. But on the flip side, why does that stuff cost so much? Because
inflation.
I educated my children at a very nice level for $250 a year per kid.
For 250 years?
Yeah, sorry, it felt like that. No, $250 per year per kid, and it was good curriculum. And you know what? They both went into public school, reading, writing, being able to do math. They're not geniuses because they don't like they don't like school. My kids, it's weird because I love school.
Does anybody like school?
Oh, I loved it. I love school. I would be in college right now.
You're one of the rare folk.
No, I'm just an idiot, but I like to learn. The rare folk. If I could be in college probably for the rest of my life, I would, just because I like to learn.
Yeah.
But I don't like it.
You don't. But nowadays, we don't need a college atmosphere to learn.
No,
we
I
have
just
the
learned
internet.
on YouTube.
That's the internet.
If you walk to my bedroom right now, there's no less than 20 or 30 books plus multiple access.
And that's what I mean. Do you really need
to learn.
Do you really need like a college to do that to learn?
I think
do you need to go?
Can learn.
Do you have to? Like when college started, it was probably more necessary because like that's where the knowledge was.
Yes.
Now we have so many more tools. So many more books have been written.
That's my biggest pet peeve about education. We're using a 19th century educational model in the 21st century.
Come on,
we don't need to waste money.
Let's evolve it. We all have fucking smart devices.
Why can't
now.
we have community learning centers where you can go do the in-person? Because cooking, I'm sorry, it is a lot more fun to learn to cook in person.
Oh yeah, that's not something you can just get on YouTube and do. You actually have to do. It's hands-on.
Personal finance.
There's a lot of hands-on.
You don't
learning.
really need a hands-on to learn personal finance.
Not
that can all be done.
But unfortunately, schools aren't teaching personal finance at all. They're teaching like these really bland, basic economics. I guess I don't know.
I don't know. I
didn't take anything from it.
I asked my children. There's a lot of busy work in schools that's not necessary.
Yeah.
And I think that now there needs to be a hybrid of personalized education, and also kids do not need to go to school till they're 18.
Kids don't need to go to school as a geographical location at all, as we've seen because of the Rona and these Zoom calls and stuff.
Oh, but the problem is remote learning has been a disaster because little kids do need to go to school. Little kids need psychosocial development that happens in groups of little kids.
Yeah.
I
have to agree.
If you think back to our agrarian roots, usually the little kids would be in the fields with the parents and they would be learning and doing a little bit while I'm not talking about child labor, but also that's another rant I have for later. There are a lot of 13-year-olds in this country that need to do stuff. They have a lot of energy and they're just sitting around Snapchatting when they actually would like to earn money and do things.
Yeah.
I know, because...
But they never learn those skills because parents are too busy at their jobs and can't teach them any practical job skills themselves. And you can't just bring your kid to work and train them that way like you used to be able to.
No, and
you used to be able to go down to the plant and bring your boy so he can learn.
We have a thing called Tom School here because when kids hit about 12, 13, their parents, we have some real good friends, and they drop their kids off that are that age at Tom School because my husband's retired military. So he always has something going on around here. And Tom teaches those kids how to run chainsaws, how to drive tractors, how to put a fence post in, how to sharpen a knife, things that... And these kids feel this great sense of accomplishment because they're learning actual things.
People love to learn.
They do, and they lose that when they're put in a box.
Yep. And a lot of people are in a box now.
Yeah.
And again, it's kind of a societal problem. A lot of parents just don't have time anymore. They have to get those 40-plus hours in to make their fucking bills, and they barely make their bills in the first place.
They live in a cycle of
and
debt.
that household of stress trying to make bills and pay the debt. And it's all personal choice, but at the same time, like a lot of people aren't even left with a good enough choice when they're kids, since they had to go get those jobs. It's this big mess.
Well, because you weren't
and
taught.
School isn't trying to get anybody out of it.
Tinfoil hat. I feel like we're perpetuating this system by intentionally not teaching people this.
Yeah.
I do. I really do. Because you think about this, you get this young kid who's told, oh, go to college. I'm going to get a liberal arts degree. And they get $80,000 in debt before they're 22.
No, I'm not saying liberal arts is useless.
I'm not saying that at
but
all.
It's not worth $80,000.
$80,000 for an English degree is absolute insanity to me. It's insanity.
Kids need a better plan on what they're going to use their education for. And that's another big thing, like when kids go to college nowadays, you feel so pressured to go to college. You don't even have a plan. You're also young and don't really know what to do with the rest of your life and haven't even experienced life as an adult yet. So, I mean, come on.
Go backpack Europe.
Again.
Sleep on a couch.
Take 5 years before you go to college. And then also, you'll have a better, perspective on money before you go get a loan to go to college in the first place. So you realize I need to get a valuable degree, or at least get a degree to go towards my plan of what I'm going to do. And a lot of kids don't do that. They're just pressured. Me, I was pressured. I felt pressured and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I started talking to the school counselor and I told her, I don't know, I like to play guitar. And she's like, well, why don't you go do audio engineering? And it took this long for me to use my audio engineering skills, and I still suck.
It's not really that long in the scope of time, and you shut up. No human should take on a load of debt until they know how to live on their own and function.
Yes.
Period. End of story.
Period. And again, banks, shame on you. Government, shame on you. You shouldn't be peddling these giant loans to fucking 18-year-olds.
That follow you to
shame
the grave.
On you.
I love that businesses can just write off debt or go through bankruptcy, but yet this learning debt goes with you to the grave.
Yeah, that's the one.
Incredible.
They will take everything you own if you ever end up owning anything.
I've read stories about people killing themselves over their $250,000 in student loan debt, and you can overcome anything. It's just
Yeah, but come on, student loan debt is
that
horrible.
is incredible.
And it is partly also, like the kid didn't have a plan and they can't use their degree or couldn't get a job in the field they were trying to get in. There's a lot of problems with it. But shame on these banks and the government for peddling these loans to kids. They're kids.
And you're also
they don't know anything about money. It's not like the schools are teaching them about money. They're just trying to get the kids out of the fucking class so they can get the next round of kids in, and it's just a big mess.
But there are also 16, 17, and 18-year-olds that are ready to go to college. That's why I think education
everybody's different.
Needs to be 100% customizable and independent and to the individual. There should be no more of a huge groupthink. Groupthink is so dangerous. It's like, hey, that kid over there, he is going to be a surgeon. But then this kid over here might need 10 years to discover himself because some people are late bloomers. I'm the ultimate late bloomer.
Everyone's different.
Yeah, so why are we trying to put everybody in boxes all
Everything's
the time?
so standardized.
It really is.
Because that's the cheapest form of education, and we don't have the money to fucking...
But that's...
Well, we do have the money.
Well,
It's not about not having the money. When taxpayers come together, we can do magical things.
During the Rona...
The problem is we don't have control over where our goddamn tax money goes.
We threw $3 trillion out, and a lot of that got wasted, but then we don't have money for things?
Yeah, we don't have money for things, but we can just print it infinitely.
We can talk about
That's a whole nother...
Well,
let's keep going. Fuck it. An hour and a half in.
Let's just do it.
Seriously,
okay.
but really... We have lost complete control over where our tax money goes. We all have to pay it. We have no choice. We have to pay taxes. Taxes are inevitable. But as an individual, we don't have any control over it. We have one little vote. We could have a checkbox. We can check on this fucking ballot. And we're at the mercy of, the fucking politician we're voting for and what they can do for us. And it goes up the ladder and maybe gets done. No, it doesn't fucking get done. We have no control over where our tax money goes. It just goes to the bureaucrats. And the bureaucrats have complete control over where the money goes. And they fuck it up. Well, I'm sorry. They do. It's all fucked up right now.
I think that's just because...
They have way too much money to control and they don't put it anywhere in the right place.
When something's too big, you can't have oversight.
No.
When something's too... And also, we're not...
That's why we need AI to run everything, because it's unbiased.
Also,
no, it's not. I'm just joking.
I think whoever programs it's going to be biased.
Yeah. It's only as good as the data it receives.
The person that wrote it, too. Because it is written on a framework before it becomes sentient.
Yep, exactly.
Its ethics are based upon our ethics.
There's many examples of accidental racism because the biases programmed into it because of the data set it had to go with is like a facial recognition AI was accidentally racist because the only faces it studied was mostly white people. So it took mostly traits of white people into its learning, and it was an accident. It's not like anything it wasn't the programmer or anything like that. It was just the data set was unfortunately biased one way or the other. It wasn't nefarious or on purpose.
Harvard has these tests because we had this everybody's bias email that I got from this homelessness training, and you could go take these tests to see if you had a racial bias or a LGBT bias, all these biases, right?
Yeah.
It was so much fun because you really, really don't, well, at least I don't want to be biased. And so you have to really hit these answers really fast, so you don't have time to think about it. And it you learn so much about yourself. I had a glorious time with it.
I love that kind of shit.
And then
introspective analyzation.
Oh, look, now it's a kitty. Sorry.
We got cats, dogs, got so many
pickles.
Some animals going on around here, guys.
We are on a farm.
It's lovely.
Yeah, well, you were talking about animals are... Okay, well, here we go. Animals are metal. I think humans are metal, too. We just try to hide it with these things that we've learned.
We're pretty brutal, yeah. We like to put on this mask of civilized culture. We're fucking animals. We're just brutal. We'll stab our neighbor in the back if we're hungry enough.
And also, like Darwinism, our strongest... They dictate everything we do. Let's be honest. They've figured out how to manipulate the populace by looking benevolent, but they are the ones...
That's what their career is all about.
Oh my gosh, Pickles. It's
leadership.
Okay.
That's what leadership's about. At least nowadays.
I'm sorry, guys. Pickles is very demanding.
This cat, man.
Yeah, he's at the screen door, and he looks like he's trying to be let on the Titanic.
Cats, they've never been fed before. Feed them right now.
I do starve my animals, and by starve, I mean that I spend a good chunk of my day making sure their needs are met.
Oh, you mean like the politicians do to us?
Yeah. Well, okay.
Sorry, it goes full circle.
Let's talk about something very contentious, abortion. That's a huge contentious thing in our country still. If you've ever drove through the South or back East, there are billboards galore about that kind of stuff. And I personally do not believe it's anybody's business what goes on. People are going to be mad at me about that, but I also have empathy for the people who don't want their tax money taken from them to pay for that.
Yeah.
And that is where I think a lot of the problem lies. I think there will always be the people that even if someone's business is their own private business, they'll still want to be in it because we have an entire culture built around that. But on the flip side, I totally understand someone that feels strongly about that on both sides not wanting their money taken and being used in that manner. So that's where, is taxation truly evil? I don't know. I like some of the stuff taxation pays for.
The idea of taxation is a good idea.
If it's voluntary.
It's very,
I think it needs to be voluntary.
Especially if it's voluntary. Yeah. But just the idea of like, let's pool our money together and do stuff with it. That's cool. It works.
But it's not voluntary.
That's not. First of all, it's not voluntary as it stands now.
I would voluntarily pay 50.
Second of all, we have no control over where each bit of that dollar goes.
You keep talking.
She's gonna go take care of the stupid cat. But like,
it's interrupting podcast.
Yeah, we seriously have no control over where our money goes. Like each individual dollar, like it just goes away to the IRS and they control it. They do whatever it goes. And again, all we have is like this little checkbox on a piece of paper that comes in the fucking mail. Like that's all we have control over, and that even doesn't do shit because we all know the corporate vote is much more powerful. We're in an oligarchy. I don't care what you guys say. We're in a fucking oligarchy.
I also think we all need to be honest here. Anybody making under a certain amount of money, you get more money back than you ever pay in. So we're being basically paid off by the more wealthy people in charge. It's interesting. Dividend income is not taxed the same. Truly rich people, they don't earn income. They live off of a different type of income that's not taxed the same way. In fact, a lot of rich people don't even pay taxes.
Yeah.
Which, good for them. The middle
That's a big part of the debates recently, too.
Yeah, like, they don't understand how... But see, that's
Trump's
people...
taxes.
I think maybe our job in life... I've kind of thought about this over the years of educating people in a simple way, because you're not a good educator if you can't break the hardest concepts down into a way that anyone can understand it.
Exactly.
And I think humans need to know, at least in our country, since we're the world leader... what money means, how it works. There are some wonderful people, like there's a Life of Fred personal finance thing that's amazing. The Reddit thing.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Dave Ramsey, you know what? You might not agree completely with all his philosophy, but he still understands how money works.
So fortunately, there are still some philanthropist, wealthy people out there who want to educate people. Because honestly, they'll benefit too. Like if the system worked, if the financial system worked better and everybody had more wealth, it's just better for everyone. So, of course, these super wealthy people want you all to be wealthy so that you can keep buying their shit.
There's enough...
$29.99, guys. 5 minutes left.
5 minutes. The thing is now, there's enough wealth and automation that none of us should be suffering. I don't care what anybody says. There's enough wealth and automation on this planet. There should be no one eating garbage and playing with medical waste for toys.
No, I've always thought of this all the time. It bugs the shit out of me that in the 21st century, in 2020, there's still anyone on the earth starving at all.
There should not be a problem there. Do you see how
Why is anyone starving? Why is anyone enslaved? Why is anyone human trafficked? Why are drugs illegal? There's all these fucking problems. We're not solving them because we can't control where our tax money goes.
That's a large
We can solve world hunger. Do you know how much money taxes bring in?
Oh, it's
and we don't want to talk about we can't solve world hunger. Yeah, I know we got to use it for a lot of infrastructure and all this other shit, but like we just printed. We just asked the Federal Reserve to print trillions. Can you guys even comprehend a fucking $1 trillion?
No.
$1 trillion can solve world hunger, but we fucking blew it on fucking stimulus checks to keep these goddamn big corporations alive.
And we're not even talking...
Because God forbid anybody goes out of business.
About, like, fancy food. I'm just saying top ramen in the world, okay? Like, where no one's hungry.
Even so. Even if it is just top ramen.
Well, I'm just saying enough to keep someone functioning so that they can... and they talk about the minimum basic income. I've read a lot about that over the years because I find it fascinating.
Universal basic income and all that? UBI?
Yeah, I've read a lot about it because I find it interesting.
Socialism!
Okay, well, if we're going to print the money anyways, why does it need to go to people who went to Vegas and blew it on strippers? They did. The PPP, there's guys in millions. And I'm just thinking, why do we need to do that?
But they have the choice to do that.
And also, our government took in record revenue this year and still ran a deficit. They took in trillions.
That's
why
every
are we
year.
doing that?
It's literally every year.
Well, and that's Keynesian economics, I believe. Like, there's this idea that you have to have debt to continue growth, I believe. I'm not an expert in it, but...
I don't think that's true, but I could be wrong. Well, it just seems really inverse to reality.
They'll just say smarter people than us will talk about it, and they'll show us really cool charts of math that explains how that works. But it's
math charts.
But it's obviously not working.
Obviously. What's the deal there?
You can use math to explain, and if you can throw a couple theta signs in there, you sound super smart. Mm-hmm. But at the same end result is there are people starving. So how well is this working? And as a first world person, I feel really a sense of shame and selfishness sometimes because here I am sitting, I am not a 1%er, people, but I have a pretty good life. So, and am I supposed to feel guilt for that? Because the woke people think I'm supposed to feel guilt about it.
But how can we all realistically share our like,
I take care of a lot of people.
how can we share our excess with the world who needs it? That's the real
my
issue.
friend Jake
like, I'm sitting here preaching about it, but I'm technically not doing anything about it. I'm also poor as shit. I don't have any resources to expend on people who need it. And when I do give it away.
Well, I do too. My friend Jake believes in microtransactions. Like, there's this one website he goes to, and you can press a button which makes an equation happen, which makes a goat get fed on some island in Crete.
That's pretty
or
awesome.
Something. Well, and it's just what he loves is the idea of it that it's fully transparent and it's people working in a voluntary manner to make things happen. And so, are we going to transition into a new form of existence? I feel like we're on the cusp of it. Unfortunately, with humans, usually it means that some sort of war has to happen, which I'd really like to get around this time, but I don't know if that's going to happen because
we will always have war.
Look at the people in charge of our government because Trump got in there. Look how virulent they have been. Mm-hmm. Whether you are a Trump or Biden fan or you like
no matter what team you're on,
just look at the reaction that the people that have been in charge since the mid-'70s were not in charge, and they have thrown the biggest spoiled riggin' fit. They need to be grounded.
Yeah, they do. Go to your robes, guys.
I've never seen anything
go
like it.
Go to your fucking room and think about what you did.
You
no
need
dinner.
To go ponder. And maybe we need to put an extra parents in charge. I don't know. I've thought about this.
No, because they're all Karens. Come on.
Oh, I'm not talking about helicopter parents. Okay, coddle culture, which we want to talk about at some point. I think is a lot.
We're talking about it now.
I hate coddle
We're going to do a long episode, guys.
We don't care.
Bear with us.
It's our Sunday of rage.
If you don't have time, push pause, come back to it later.
Yeah, because we've got advertising, and then we went on money and education, and now we're on coddle culture.
Besides, you have to sit through our long episode in order to get the secrets to be happy and rich. Remember, but you have to give us $29.99.
We're going to put that special link at the end of this episode.
I'm not going to stop till you guys give me money.
The whole time, you're going to lose out big.
I'm not going to stop till you give me money. And if I had the power to spam your phone right now with an ad, I would.
Oh.
I'd do it in a heartbeat.
He's doing it right now. You just aren't seeing it.
Give me the fucking money. I know you have it in your pocket. Just give it to me.
Your consciousness
You'll
is
be happy.
hostage to our needs right now.
You'll be happy. Oh, also, I'm starving. Help me, please.
You're
I'm going to
hungry?
die. I'm really hungry. I'm sad.
Oh.
So can you guys give me money?
Brady and I, we haven't eaten. We're too poor for top ramen.
Yeah, can we please have money?
I like how we had a moment of silence there. That was beautiful.
I really hope you guys know we're joking.
Isn't that basically what people
don't give us money. I don't give a fuck.
We don't need it. We're doing this because we love it. Someday we would like to earn a living doing this, but we want to do it for the right reasons. Yeah, and I think that's how the world changes.
I'm not doing this podcast so I can sell you guys a fucking bullshit t-shirt that came from China for 30 cents an hour.
No, I don't want to do that.
That ain't how we're doing this. Some people do that, though.
And you know what? We're not judging them because people got to eat.
People got to monetize hustle,
somehow. I get it. I do.
We're in a world of hustles.
I want to do it in a different way. Yeah. I want to make a different way and maybe...
Oh, and also, by the way, if we do ever become quite wealthy doing this podcast, knock on wood, I'm going to donate so much fucking money.
Oh, I
want to give it all away.
I don't want a lot of material
I've always been the
goods.
kind of person like, I'll just give it all away.
Why
I really
would
would. If I was fucking Jeff Bezos, dude...
I always wanted a foundation.
I would give it all away. And he does. He gives away a lot of money. Do you want to know why rich people give away a lot of money? A, they can sleep better at night because they scam money from us and they give it away. And then tax evasion is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, but then you get to dictate how your money goes out. You earned it.
Exactly.
I want to have
and it's cool. I have no problem with that. People. Look at Trump. Everyone's fucking berating him because he only paid $700 in income tax.
He didn't take any income.
Do you guys... and I'm sorry, it sounds like I'm fucking peddling Trump on everybody, but like it's just a big talking point nowadays, so I feel like it's relevant. But like Donald Trump hasn't taken a dime of his presidential salary for himself. It all goes to charities. Now, whether you believe these charities are effective or not, whatever, he still just gives it away. And that one's not even for tax write-off. That one's just because he wants to.
No, remember
because he doesn't even get taxed on that money. You can't tax the president's salary. So he just gives it away, not for tax write-off. He can't write that off. There's no way for him to gain anything from that.
I hate hypocrisy. There's so many double standards in politics, and it's like, if you have principles, they should equally apply to whether they're on your team or not team. And why do we have to be opposing teams?
Like, that's what I'm trying to preach here. Like, can't just Trump and Biden hug each other? Sorry, the Rona, never mind.
Well, and say you have alternate, yes, the Rona, fist bump away from each other.
Yeah.
What about
send an emoji or something?
You have differing ideology, but there's got to be stuff you agree on for the good. When did it become so hostile?
Yeah, I want to know like when this trend of like tribalism really took off, because
Social media.
When I was a kid, it didn't seem like this. Maybe it was, and I was just naive, but.
People
ignorant.
are far less civil in public discourse than they were when I was a kid.
What happened? Is it Twitter? Is it Twitter's fault?
Well, and everybody likes a good, smacking, a fish slapping, as I call it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
take
fun
it.
to get off a zinger, but
It is. It is fun. Well, that's how Trump's entire fucking campaign was getting off zingers.
I know,
He's the fucking zinger king right now.
But then what happens is nothing actually gets done because everybody's too busy posturing. I hate posturing. It's just gross.
Oh man, I don't
know. In education,
what happened to the world, guys?
You go to an Easter egg hunt in your town, and the teachers there are there trying to get you a petition to get them more money, and it's like, this is a family event. You shouldn't be here. You need to send out a mailer or get on the internet or talk to somebody.
Yeah.
This is a family time. See, there's no weirdness anymore. Like, normality is all messed up because of tribalism.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it.
Tribalism's weird.
And I feel like you're always having to fight against it.
Nowadays, yeah.
Like, just going to the store. Say you don't.
Oh, God, yeah.
The mask thing has made everybody super hateful to each other.
Yeah.
Man,
that was such a divisive thing.
It's still divisive. we're
just trying to figure out how to stop this virus from spreading so quickly so we can get back to normal. But no, everybody's got to make it about arguing.
I know.
Let's focus on the virus again instead of the I don't understand it. Oh, no.
I don't either.
Don't listen to me. I'm a fucking moron. But seriously, like, the fucking masks.
I don't get
it. I don't get it.
Well, and it's like,
I wasn't pissed one way or the other. I was just
No.
I was just trying to think of it practically. Is this going to be effective or not? Like, how is this going to affect my life personally? How can I make this convenient? Because I'm going to forget my mask a lot, and I'm thinking of these things. But I wasn't thinking like, those fucking people wearing masks, or those fucking people not wearing masks, how dare they?
I don't really.
Well, I was a little bit, because I was like, at the same time, like, I saw this lady at Walmart coughing, and she wasn't wearing a mask. She was coughing all over fucking everything.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
I don't know.
People should really just be more respectful, and like, if you're gonna cough in your elbow, whether you're wearing a mask or not, we should all be more respectful to each other and not cough all over the fucking food at the store.
And my thing is if it's something that could even help a little bit, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, I also don't like people that are unelected, little fiefdom trying to tell you every move to make when they can't even predict the weather. So it's like, I understand both sides. Like,
yeah.
they're absolutely unequivocally sure something is scientifically accurate, and then the next day they're all, so it's have a little respect.
The CDC, are you referring to the CDC?
Well, I would never.
It's not just them.
I wanted
to
work for them when I was a kid, and now I'm sort of like, maybe
they're
that was
flip-flopping all over the place. But come on, give them some slack. They don't fucking know what's going on.
Well, that's another thing.
It's not like we're experts on fucking pandemic. Like, even the experts on fucking pandemics and stuff like that, like, they don't really know what they're doing. They're trying to figure this out. Like, this is also
they're
new.
Not nefarious.
But we expect them to just be on top of this and tell us what to do. And like, I don't know.
And think of all the ground we've made just since March, since this really kicked into gear.
Yeah.
We've learned a lot of stuff. It's not an exact. I don't know. It's not exact. You're gonna have to learn as you go, and I don't think people give any room to sort of, hey, we kind of messed this up,
yeah,
and we're gonna fix this, and we're gonna do that.
But everything's so urgent and dire now in the instant gratification culture.
I also think it's because people in charge of other people have forgotten that they are the same as us as far as society equality standards go, and they get this whole, people get mad at cops for being authoritative because they get too authoritative instead of remembering that they derive any authority they have from the people that they serve. Yeah. I think that is why people hate government people so much sometimes.
It's the authoritation.
It's like
is that a word?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking
about. It's the authority, though, yeah.
And I think that is where a lot of this pushback comes from. You've got some person at your local health district who's like, you have to do this. Well, you didn't ask nicely. You just said I had to.
And you also didn't explain it in a culpable way.
And granted, we're in the middle of a pandemic and they're trying to figure things out, but it's like asking someone nicely and then, I don't know.
Sugar goes a lot farther than spice sometimes.
And also, you don't really know, and you should come from it at that angle. It's like, hey, this is the best info I have right now. Can we all work together and do this? And then maybe it'll change, but don't think that I'm not.
Well, we've lost this culture of like, because I know America used to have this culture of like, let's work together. We're all an awesome, really strong nation. And that's, God damn it, I'm sounding like a Trump supporter again, because that's kind of part of his Make America Great Again bullshit. But realistically, we did lose this culture of like, let's all work together, be friendly to each other, and get shit done. We're very powerful. We used to be very powerful in that aspect too, as like a society, aside from the government.
Yeah, but now a good chunk of us
But now it's just they're telling us what to do, and everyone's trying to fight back against telling us what to do, and nobody's working together because we're all fighting each other over fucking Team Democrat or Team Republican, or fucking, do you like Pepsi or Coke? I fucking hate you if you like Coke or something, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
or your football team is stupid.
yeah,
and
the
it's-
football fucking bullshit. Now we're all fighting each other over these dumb little petty things that don't matter at all.
Do you think there's some angst, though, that there's a huge chunk of us that are getting blamed for things that we had nothing to do with, and
Absolutely.
then we don't know what we're supposed to do to fix it, and so then we're just like, well, fuck it, we're not going to fix it at all because it wasn't our fault.
Yeah.
And they're just going to blame us no matter what we do. So why
There
do we
is
even
that.
try?
There is that.
I feel like that. Yeah. I feel that with older people a lot.
Yeah.
That
Well,
there's a lot of
we
that.
all, a lot of us younger people want to blame the boomers for all this.
I don't blame the
Whatever,
boomers.
it is what it is. But like,
you know what? That generation, the greatest thing I get mad about them about
We
is
can
that
fix
they
it.
indulged their children too much, and then those children have now had children, and nobody knows how to do anything for themselves.
yeah.
It really upsets me, and
Isn't this how Rome fell?
too much leisure time is
everybody
never
got
good,
soft.
and they inflated the currency.
Yeah.
If you want to learn about currency inflation and the negatives of it, go read about Rome's currency. It's really a neat case study.
Too late.
I'm sure there's a podcast about it.
History repeats itself, doesn't it?
Well, we don't. You know what's funny? We learn and we build upon learning, but then we forget things because we usually blow everything up or
Yeah.
burn libraries,
Yeah.
and then we have to relearn it again.
God damn it, you're right.
Yeah, it's the library burning. Don't burn any libraries.
Straight up, the system we've built is now broken.
I think all
And we need to
things-
fix it. And I'm not smart. I'm only a little smart.
I think
I'm just a deep thinker.
I'm introspective.
But I'd like to we need to solve problems. I'd like to work together. We need to work together, people. Stop fighting over your football team or your fucking brands and your fucking... We need to be aware of tribalism so that we can stop it. Because it's fucking gross. And we need to start working together to solve some of these problems we have. And I don't know if it's never going to be instant. So get rid of the expectations that these problems are going to be fixed instantly. But let's work towards the future because we can. Brady for president, by the way, everybody. Give me $29.99.
You also aren't old enough. Okay, toxic tribalism is what we're talking about. Because I also don't think we're advocating. You know what? There are people out there that you just like to hang out with because they like what you like.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a bad thing. But then you hanging out with people because you think you're better than them when
There's a lot of that crap too.
Human fallibility. Well, I've seen. I'm not going to pick on a certain state, but there is a culture of I'm better than you because I have A, B, and C.
Mm-hmm.
As a human, you should be so much better than that bullshit. That makes me crazy. I don't care that you're leasing an Audi or that you have a Tesla. If you're a jerk, that material good does nothing for you.
Exactly.
You're making the problem worse. Buy the Tesla because you like it. Who cares if other people like it?
Yeah.
Buy it because you enjoy it.
But
I'm
that's
not going
tribal or virtue signaling
It's
or all sorts
toxic.
of other things.
Everything about it is toxic.
It's so toxic.
And it's just
But that's always been part of human
it starts
nature,
in
man.
grade school though.
Yeah.
It does. Or your parents. Like
My backpack's cooler than yours.
I, that's
My
one
parents
thing.
bought me a Batman backpack.
My kids were homeschooled until middle and high school, and so they didn't have any of that societal pressure to have certain things. And it was really, I think it was the single greatest thing. I'm not a good person really, as far as I'm not the smartest person. I fail at a lot of things, but giving my children a chance to have their own identity without it being dictated to by the little peoples in their school was the greatest thing I ever did.
Yeah, I probably should be doing that with my kids, but they're going to school now.
But it doesn't matter. You're
They're
a
going
good
to public
parent.
school.
I've seen kids that are that way that go to public school too. It's just I gave my kids that option.
Yeah.
They don't care about things like that. And I think that's probably the
good.
greatest thing we can do.
Yeah. And then there's also like the classism, I guess.
Oh, I hate classes.
It's like, haha, poor. Like,
who cares?
that's bullshit. Everybody's comes from different backgrounds.
And it's not real. Okay, really
It's
wealthy,
not real,
super
yeah.
rich people are not that way. It's the nouveau rich or the people that I call the debt rich.
Yeah.
They're the ones that do that. And it's
debt rich,
The
yeah,
debt
that's a
rich
good one.
have like an insecurity. It's really weird. I've never wanted to put someone down because of their station in life.
I'm sorry we're so preachy today, but like we gotta solve these problems. We gotta be aware of them. We gotta talk about this kind of stuff.
I would like it if you guys talk to us
I'm
about it.
I'm not a genius. I'm not trying to say I know how to fix these problems. I'm just encouraging everybody to talk about them with themselves. That's why I'm talking about them on the podcast. Kind of bring it up a little bit, get it in your guys' minds. Talk about it with your group of people. Everyone needs to have these conversations and try to figure out how to fix these problems. Because if we're all talking about it and we all have these ideas, then maybe some of those ideas that are the better ideas will come out on top and stuff will start to change. Even though we really don't have that much control, because all we have is a checkbox on a piece of paper that comes in the mail, like I was saying.
We can change that, though. Why can't we change that?
Yeah,
That's my thing.
These Black Lives Matter riots and protests and Antifa and other shit. These protests are a powerful tool we have when we're using them for the wrong things. And yes, that topic is important. And yes, we're trying to make change. are going about it in the wrong way, and it's not making any change. It's actually making things worse. We need to get together and do these kind of things to break the system instead of perpetuate it. Because now we're just perpetuating the system because the systemic response was stronger than it's ever been. So that really just made the system more like engraved. So unfortunately, it just was a backfire. But we can figure this out, guys. Let's talk about it and figure this out. Let's get these things to change. So, yeah, police brutality sucks. Nothing's changed. Have you guys noticed that?
No, we're just griping about it. But and then like our entire system, there's been injustices in every system, but look at the greatness that has come out of it. So let's take instead of throwing out the entire system, let's take what's good about it and build on that. Yeah. Or take what's bad and get together and fix it.
Well, you can't build a solid house on a broken foundation either, though.
Well, and there's a lot about our system that is truly broken. Yeah, but I also think that the idea of individuality and stuff, it's like, I think that there's something good there. And we could fix it together, but we have to get over our own grievances. Like, there's so much grievance and virtue signaling, and we're so busy barking about that, like you said, police brutality. Okay, let's fix that. That can actually be addressed. Throwing out the entire police department, that's not going to work.
No. Good luck.
Well, no, because now we have, and people are always like, blah, 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 this nation's so dangerous. Like, I have family members that are worried I'm going to Mexico. You can't go to Detroit right now, or Minneapolis, in our own country, because it's dangerous. So that's some sort of weird cultural thing, though. I don't know.
Yeah, literally everywhere you go is dangerous.
Yeah, to be alive is to be in risk of dying. So
there's violent criminals literally everywhere. It's not just Mexico. It's not just Detroit or Chicago.
I think
literally everywhere.
If people realize they have
people get shot here in Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah, the power to get rid of institutions. All it takes is not playing their game. Yeah.
We don't want to get rid of institutions. We just need to improve them, make them work for us again, make them evolve to the changed times.
And that takes time because of humans.
The problem is we keep building the skyscraper up and we never fix the bottom floors first.
I learned about that in budgeting. Like, you just keep the same budget coming every year. Once you get in a pattern as a human, it is very hard to deviate from it. And I think that's a lot of it. People are just used to the patterns. Like that massive, if you get earned income credit for your children every year, would you really get rid of that if it helped? A lot of people. I don't know. A lot of people live.
I like that earned income tax credit.
Well, who doesn't?
Where does it come from? How is that broken?
You're basically borrowing from your future ancestors at this point.
Essentially, yeah.
Because of the amount
I love how a society's figured out how to leverage future people. And isn't that wonderful?
And isn't
that how Social Security works?
Basically.
Just leveraging future generations.
You've got to have enough people in the future to pay for that leverage, though, do we?
We're heading towards a financial black hole, everybody.
Well, but then again, can we just keep printing money? We have the computing power.
Literally, we can't.
About that. Yeah,
we literally can't. Because now it's not even printing money.
It's
cash-wise.
digital, yeah.
It's all fucking digital. So, you just say to the computer, now there's this much money. Hit enter, and there is this much money. But if you look at how economics works in the first place, you just can't do that. That's what they're doing, but you can't do that. It's not. How does that work? You can't just say, now there's $40 bajillion in the fucking spending pool.
Yeah, but they have been for the last few,
How's that supposed to work? That means money's worthless.
It's only worth, as Americans, they know we'll get out of bed and go to work. I think the second we stop doing that, and the Rona's put a wrench in this.
Oh God, yeah.
So
our hands were forced to stop going to work, and look what's happened.
I know that there's.
You guys have no idea right now how much of an economic repercussion this is going to have, and it's the ripple effect. Like, for fucking decades now, we're going to be cleaning up this mess of we had to shut the whole country down, and I'm not. It was just. We're trying to figure this out. I'm not trying to slay a dragon here. I'm just saying the response that happened was let's shut the country down. And maybe it did lower the coronavirus numbers a little bit, and that's cool. Every death of coronavirus is a tragedy. Every infection of the coronavirus was a tragedy. And they just were doing the best they can to try to figure out what to do, but we shut the entire economy down other than these quote unquote essential jobs. And
which that also, it's like, if it was really to shut down, then you should have shut down.
Obviously we can't just do that though.
Well, and that's just it. So
we need the healthcare workers because there's emergencies. We need the emergency responders. There's a lot of things we still needed to keep going and keep happening. But what it did was open my eyes to this go
that we did
society that we have now. It's like, you can't just shut it off now. It's going forever.
And I'm really concerned, like you said, about the repercussions for this. And also,
there's going to be huge repercussions for years to come now.
There's societal ones too. We are going through a shift of how we work, how we do things. Are we ever going to have concerts again? Because the Rona is not going anywhere. And I don't know. Okay, look at our flu vaccinations. They are effective to a certain point, but they are not completely effective. And the Rona is mutating constantly. So what's going to happen? And then they're rushing the vaccine. So there have been some incidents in I don't know.
There's a lot going on with this coronavirus.
So we already had problems, and then that is just added to it.
What Corona was at this point was a magnifying glass to some of the problems.
Our dysfunction.
Yeah, to some of the... Look, we've been driving a car without changing the oil, and coronavirus is that noise the engine starts to make. And we're like, oh, shit.
And it's
now we got to address these problems. But we've also made the problems worse because when you hear that noise, you know it's already too late.
Yeah, it's like our air filter went bad along with the engine.
It's like when you see your check your oil light, it's already too late. There's a problem.
Well, and in America...
That's a get the fuck off the road light because your engine's fucked.
In America, we were barely hanging in there with our whole debt system. Like, our working class without debt cannot make it.
Yeah, we were already struggling.
And now it's, like, worse.
But then we shut the economy down, essentially. Not even just America, either. No, the whole world responded by... Yeah. Okay, most of us need to stop going to work and stay in your homes.
It was a contraction.
And then also, most of us weren't also getting any kind of, like, replacement money for that job we had to stop going to, that we had no choice but to stop going to because the job shut down.
Yeah. And then
most of us would have kept going to work.
And then some of us...
Given the choice, because we have to pay our fucking bills.
Some people... I know. It's just... What a complicated thing. It's almost like... Yeah, we had this problem.
We got $1,200.
What?
That's gone.
That's not even most
Who
people's
still has
rent.
any of that money?
That's not even most people's rent.
Exactly. $1,200. Wow, thanks, guys. You made us stop going to work through legislation or whatever, through a mandate. But then how are we going to pay our bills? You didn't give us any more money. And I'm not saying that's the solution to give everybody money, but like, what were we supposed to do? It's not like everybody has a side hustle going on, and even most of them still had to stop their side hustles too.
And now the natural
we're just trying to get rid of a virus?
repercussions of printing all that money is coming. The inflation is hitting. I have seen a massive increase in just goods because it has to, because there's more money, it's worth less. And then
exactly.
And so now I'm like,
we just have this
you know who
issue.
That hurts the worst though is the poor, the world poor.
Oh fuck yeah.
Oh man, which maybe we need to just. And then I'm getting stretched more and more thin. I know you are.
We all are.
And so...
Who isn't? Even the wealthiest billionaires are stretched thin, if you want to call it that.
Well, they live in...
Thinner.
I think a lot of, like I said, the rich, you said, don't have liquid cash.
Exactly.
They have assets.
They have assets.
And
they can't just go to the bank and grab $1 billion out.
No, they borrow money against
They have to go through these months-long processes of, like, selling off assets.
I know a lot of
people... If people even want to buy the assets.
Because interest rates are almost negative or living off of home equity loans. Anybody that owns real estate has been cashing in on that cow. And then a lot of people in the country are moving here.
Somehow.
I don't know
fucking prices are ridiculous in Idaho
they're
right
doing
now.
it. My friend's house sold in one day. She had 17 offers the day it was listed. It's just out of control. And it's like, but what they're doing is this, local people can't afford to live here because
Not
the
anymore.
people coming out with the outside money are running the prices up because it's cheap to them. People coming from some other states that shall not be named in our area, a $600,000 house is nothing. To an Idahoan, and that's just catastrophic.
It's hard to even imagine having a $600,000 house for me.
Well,
I'm working class.
I
ain't gonna afford a fucking $600,000 house.
But that's becoming
unless I leverage the bank.
But now a subdivision house is $300,000 to $400,000, just the subdivision house, and so it's like not a fancy one.
Some of these crappier houses now are just $200,000 period for a shit house.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
He's not exaggerating.
Even over in Spokane, it's like a house in the fucking ghetto
is a couple $100,000,
just falling apart, needs work. You'd be lucky to find a $100,000 house now.
What cracks me up is when
that used to be like $100,000 house used to be like, this is pretty nice.
Yeah. When I first moved here, you could get a house for like $60,000.
Yeah, you used to be able to even just go buy a shit. You used to be able to buy a shithole for $10,000.
Yep, and that was not that long
ago.
Put
$30,000 into it, and then for $40,000-$50,000, that was a good investment because you're gonna get. Then you've made a $100,000 house.
Well, that's where the flipping culture.
Now you don't have that anymore. Flipping culture is dead. Mm-hmm. Now, minimum, you're going in for kind of a shithole $200,000. Okay.
And
you still have to put $40,000-$50,000 into it, and you can't make that $40,000-$50,000 back because no matter what, that house is stuck at $200,000. No matter how much money you pump into it, unless you build a fucking new house, you're not getting any more than you put into it. So, like, this flipping culture is dead. Home equity is dead because now it's being leveraged to survive because of the coronavirus.
Unless you've held on to something so long that you have just this incredible amount of equity in it.
Yeah, and now the bank's response is, let's give out loans like candy again.
Well, something personal finance thing that I learned and helps people, like, I put it in context of how many hours would I have to work to buy that? I could not work enough hours. Okay,
nobody can work enough hours to buy a house anymore.
I could not work enough hours to buy this farm now.
It would have taken me 10 years to make $200,000 if I didn't have any other bills when I was working. And I was making middle class income. Like,
I'm trying to think how
long. When I was making, good money.
I'd have to work
almost $20 an hour, and that's a lot to some people.
My husband and I would have, it would take a long time to buy this. And it's like, but when I bought it, it was more... Yeah. Fair. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was more of, it made more sense. Everything is like education. Okay, so education, healthcare, and housing are so artificially overinflated by this whole system that I don't know how we're going to fix it. Has somebody even... fucking
got way... I think it's FUBAR.
Because at some point, the credit crunch has to happen. Like, because right now they're loaning it. Right now, if you have good credit, you can get credit cards for like 0% interest for 15 to 18 months.
The banks peddle these low interest loans and low interest credit lines. Don't fucking do it because that's what caused all this in the first place.
Well, and then also they bank on you not paying it off between their terms. Oh yeah, and then you get all the interest tacked on it.
That's what caused the 2008 crisis because the banks were betting against everybody and giving out these low interest house loans
and derivatives.
And then Wall Street was going, I'm going to pay for the loans that are going to be defaulted on. I'm going to bet on the defaults because they could see it coming. And bam, the banks fucking were out of money.
But then we gave them money.
The banks ran out of money.
That's the part that made me mad.
Obama fucking...
Did anybody give you money because you made a bad financial
Obama
decision?
gave them billions of dollars.
Well, he said that like Alex
And they literally
Jones.
didn't do anything.
He said like Alex Jones.
They literally had no repercussions for ruining the entire world's economy.
But you better pay that student loan.
They got free money
you pay that student
from
loan.
the government.
Well,
and then just peddled more loans to people because of it.
Well, they're doing the same
While
thing
the CEOs
again
went
that
on
caused the
vacation.
crash. They found their ways around Dodd-Frank. You remember Dodd-Frank? Well, I don't know. You were pretty... They passed this 2,000 plus page bill, Dodd-Frank, designed to never let this happen again. They are letting it happen again. Now they just have more rules.
If you guys can't see that the exact same thing as like 15 years ago is happening now, you're blind.
Did you guys like living through the Great Recession? Because this one will be way more exciting.
Exactly.
It's going to be great.
We're going to have a way bigger recession. It's just a perpetual recession now.
Well, and that's
if not, we're going to go into
economics.
because of Corona, we might even go into full-blown depression now.
But I don't want to live in that type of world. That's why I feel like, what can I do to help not live in that kind of world? And
apparently it's not, I don't even know. I guess.
What can
get
we
a loan?
Do? Well, and then do we just get a loan? I need a 0% interest loan. Yeah. Actually, it's getting
to buy a house that isn't going to be worth anything in 5 years because the housing market crashed again. Don't do it.
Well, that's why I refuse to touch my equity. I'm like, nah, I would rather be able to afford my house. Well, and that's another thing. It's getting so low interest. When I refinanced my farm to take advantage of low interest, like, was it 4 years ago? It's almost dropped a whole nother point. So I'm on that thing where do I want to go through all that paperwork again? Because the amount of money I would save is awesome. But they pressure you to cash out your equity.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want that. No. Because
they want that equity.
They want to own
cash is
your
worthless,
soul.
and they know that cash is worthless, so they're pressuring everybody to give them the assets so that they have a tangible thing that's worth something.
They can take
because money isn't worth anything, and tangible things that you buy with money are.
They know if you overextend yourself by taking too much equity, making your payment too high, that eventually you won't be able to pay said thing, and they can take the actual thing, which is your home.
Yeah.
It works really well.
It's awesome.
But then on the flip side, you're also signing and taking the money.
Yeah. Because the wealthiest people in the world, what they know and you don't, is that things are worth money and money's worth nothing.
Pretty much.
So they have all the land, they have all the gold, they have all the businesses, they have all the vehicles, they have all these things that are actually worth something because they're things. They don't have cash. Because cash is fucking worthless.
They're only worth money because we attribute value to them. Isn't it funny how humans attribute value to things? Like, people are like, you'll live if you have gold. No, gold is hard to transport. You can't eat it. And sure, you could maybe exchange it, but
everything's edible.
Well, actually, I've ate gold before. They gold dust things. But what I'm talking about is, it's like, it's only attributed value because it's rarity, and we determine it as a storehouse of wealth. It's not easy to use for transactions. Yeah. There's like all these negatives to gold, and I'm like, yeah, you go ahead and eat those 42 bars of gold that someone's going to steal from you because they have more guns than you do.
Gold's worthless. And the real thing is, like, when I see behind the curtain a little bit, Nobody owns the fucking world.
No.
It's a planet. It's just floating around in space. You can't just say you own part of it.
No.
You don't.
I think it's...
You can go on a piece of land and shoot anybody who tries to say it's there. I don't know how that works.
Adverse
There's this
possession.
weird, like, possession is such a weird thing because it's like we don't really own anything. We're all just people on this rock.
I think you're just sort of paying to
We're all
rent it
animals on
in
this
a
rock,
way.
but we say we own something and we own it because we have a piece of paper.
Well, and that's just it. Who dispenses the piece of paper?
Yeah.
I think that's an old colonialism sort of meme, if you think about it. It's
Yeah.
like you conquered something, you get to keep it. Because there's a lot of cultures, they
I'm
just
king
kind
of
of
the
moved.
hill, bitch.
They kind of moved around. I would personally, I'm getting tired of taking care of things. I would like to not own anything. I would love to float from, because home ownership, woohoo!
I want to go be a beach bum.
That would be kind of, Matthew McConaughey it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
Doesn't that seem so much easier nowadays?
just hang your hammock.
You just live out in nice weather, homeless in nice weather seems great right now.
Well, that's why there's
compared
a
to
homes-
like having a home anywhere.
I don't know. There are bonuses to having a home because, like,
just wanna run away and be a bum.
I can go out on my porch and no one will bug me. That's nice. But then on the flip side, I'm tired of being responsible for things because it feels like an assault all the time.
It is. It's a constant assault all the time.
The amount of
It's
paperwork
assault
I
on your
have to do
patience,
is
it's
just
assault on your
crazy.
lifespan.
Maybe that's just it. Maybe we are tired. We don't want to save anything about the system and just start over. But that would be so
How can we
ugly.
do that though? Where do we go? Where's the
know.
reset button?
Look how
itself?
bad
Because we
people
would all
react
hit
to
the
change.
reset. I guarantee almost everybody on the earth would hit that reset button right now.
I don't
if
know.
we could all start anew. Because now we have this technology to communicate globally to build the new thing, but there's no way to tear down the old thing.
Well, I don't know. That's a complicated question. And also, I don't know if I would
Doesn't that one world government sound great?
No.
Right about now?
No, I don't want any other humans in charge of me. I don't. That's my problem. Is I don't trust other people. No, they'll mess it up.
Yeah. Now, some of us may be responsible to not have a government and still be okay.
I
And still be a
know.
good person and compassionate towards each other and
'Cause
help
we
each
have
other out and
ethics.
be a good society. But a lot of us won't. Like Nestle. There's companies out there pumping poisons into water supplies just to make profit.
I know.
Yeah, there is. I'm telling you guys.
I know. That's the problem. Is
Because
we're
they
all
can.
fallible.
Just because they can. Because you guys will give them money to buy their water bottle.
this all boils down to
Or their candy bar.
biochemicals. We have some people that are biochemically charged to just exploit things. And
Yep.
how do you deal with those people? How do you deal with
I mean,
the people?
bullets are nice.
Yeah, but then
They've
we're
solved
just
a lot
as
of
bad
problems.
as they are. Bullets are nice. You've been playing too much Red Dead. Let's
yeah.
shoot this guy. That'll make it better.
Again, I've been in this like mindset of like, let's
her-
just use duels, old school Western duels to solve problems again.
Okay, Doc Holliday.
But I'm just joking, obviously.
No,
like,
but there's something noble about it. I understand what you're saying.
but, like,
It's like if
seriously,
someone's
like,
behaving badly,
what,
but then you're
what does
judging
it say? There's this thing in the Bible like, cut the bad fruit off the tree or it will rot the whole tree.
Yeah, bad fruit is a problem. I would just take the bad fruit.
There's a
and
lot of bad
compost
fruit,
it.
and nobody's chopping them off the tree. And
Yeah, but
because
now-
we got to be humane. How do we humanely chop the bad fruit off
Now
the tree?
our system and the
then we
culture
roll
people
into-
stick up for the
Yeah,
bad people.
But cutting that bad fruit off the tree is a slippery slope to genocide.
Yes, it
I'm
is.
sorry, it is.
Well, because evil people exploit it.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, we have went full circle on this conversation.
But are we all inherently evil? I got an A+ on a report back in high school English class.
Mm-hmm.
Was are we inherently good or are we inherently evil? I said neither. I said we are just inherently people.
Inherently
And
opportunistic.
opportunistic, exactly. I wrote a whole report on this, got an A+. Doesn't really matter.
That's whatever.
I didn't
no
get anything
denigration.
from English class.
No denigration.
I can kind of talk.
Quit
I have a
denigrating.
podcast now. It doesn't mean I know how to talk, but
No,
I
but
don't
we're
know
good
really.
at it.
But
I mean, we've
anyway,
been talking for
my
a
point
couple
is
hours.
like we might actually lean a little bit realistically, but good and evil is subjective.
I think we're
it
all
really, really
inherently
is.
opportunistic and selfish in
Yeah.
our ways, and it's
Yeah.
just, and I don't think it's all one metric. I think there's different levels of opportunistic and selfish.
Newsflash, everybody: there really is no dragon to slay.
Maybe that's where
The dragon to slay is within ourselves. Each of us as an individual. God, I'm getting preachy. But really, like, we all have a dragon to slay within ourselves before we can realistically go out and, like let he who is without sin throw the first stone or whatever, like that Bible verse.
I think that might be
That should be
nice.
something everybody focuses on. Like, we should probably solve the problems or like Jordan Peterson says, clean your room.
Clean your
Before you
room.
clean the rest of the house, clean your bedroom.
Well, and I've been working on I learned that quite, okay, I had sort of like a big, huge change in how I live life about a decade ago. And I've been realizing that I can do nothing for other people until I fix what's broken in me.
Yeah.
And then that's that treating other people as you would want to be treated. Well, I treated myself terribly.
But here was the thing. We won't have to solve anybody else's problems if we all can solve our own first.
And support people who are working on that.
If we all work on our own inner things.
Because we
and then there will be
but...
people who don't even who weren't born into the resources to solve their problems, and then we have to help them.
So this is a first world existential thing.
It is.
Because when you're in a survival mode, people rag on homelessness people and third world people. When you're in survival mode, you can't even get to these thoughts.
Yeah. It's not like these people have any way to get out of their poverty, guys.
And you can't get to the level of thinking of these thoughts because you are in survival mode.
Yeah, exactly. So they're just trying to eat. They're just focused on, where am I going to get my next meal? Do I have to chase it? Am I going to have the energy to chase it?
Who do I have to fight?
Yeah. Do I have to kill this other guy trying to get his meal?
So let's all focus. Maybe that's the key to this is first world people need to focus on fixing what's broken in us. And then we can help lift the other people. Mm-hmm. Not in some sort of benevolent great white hunter way. I'm talking about... Yeah. Hey, okay, let's get you up here, and then maybe that's part of the solution. I don't know. That might actually make sense.
Yeah. So America needs to clean its room.
Yeah.
Go to your room. Then we can clean the rest of the house.
Well, we
need to start with our bedroom, because that's where we'll find the chi.
We've been in everybody else's bedroom for a long time. We are voyeurs.
That's true.
And so maybe that is our problem is we need to focus. Well, but then I get to, if you don't...
we're not cleaning anyone else's bedroom either. We're fucking everybody else's bedroom up to make ours look cleaner.
If you don't have a security system, though, people are going to get in your house while you're focusing on cleaning your bedroom. So there has to be some sort of barrier.
I love this analogy.
I kind of do too. It's working on every level. Yeah, I like it. Yeah,
but really, guys, we got a lot of problems. We need to fix them.
So solutions.
But we have to do it individually.
I think
I don't think the system's going to fix the problem because the system's broken. But if we all individually make changes, the ripple effect is huge, man.
And also not focusing on other people's problems over your own. There's this huge propensity to just rag on other people when you've got... I know people who spend nothing but time ragging on other people, but then they don't work on what's broken in them.
Yeah. Karen.
Oh, God. Work on what's broken in you. If you have a propensity to judge other people, why is that? What is broken in you that you think you need to go around pointing out what's wrong with everybody else? And then once you fix yourself a little bit, then go say, hey, I do this too, and I would like to, just, you know what I mean?
Introspection is uncomfortable. And self-judgment is hard. I like being
uncomfortable. It means you're growing.
And a lot of people really don't. Maybe it's a delusion or something, but a lot of people won't recognize
their own.
Yeah, exactly. Some people don't have the ability to recognize the issues they're having. Or they don't have people around them to fucking put them in their place.
Also, they don't want to. There's a good chunk of people that think there's nothing wrong with them and they're just going to do what they want to do. Yeah.
Personally.
Oh, yes, you can. Mm-hmm. And also, then there's that problem. That person might be broken from something we don't even know about or do know about. And until they're ready to fix themselves, if they even want to, what do we do about that? How do you address that? Do you just say, okay, you have to go over here where you can't hurt anybody? That sounds a little bit scary too.
It's a slippery slope.
So maybe voluntarism is the greatest thing because it's if enough people voluntarily say, hey, this is a good idea and we're going to fix ourselves, then maybe something good will come out when the numbers get over.
It could be. I don't know.
Or are we just all hosed?
I might be beating a dead horse here. But
are we nihilistic?
Maybe.
We should just accept that we're hosed and enjoy what we have while we can? Or just enjoy the negative?
That's how we destroy the planet. It's a good, quick way to do it.
But I've thought about this. How it's sort of defeating when you think about it. Because
it is, though.
Because I'm like you. Maybe that's why we do this podcast. We have these deep thoughts. Like, I've had them my whole life.
Me too.
And then you can see people being stupid. And you're like, why are they doing that? And then I wasted a lot of my years listening to the stupid people or talking to them and trying to be supportive. And I realized they just want to be miserable. Mm-hmm. And I wasted all those out. But it wasn't wasted because I learned. So I don't do that anymore. So maybe as long as you're growing, good things are happening. I don't know.
Could be. And for $29.99, you can have all the answers to fix the world's problems too.
Time is running out, people.
Mm-hmm. I actually have all the answers. You guys are just getting a sample. And so if you give me $29.99, I will make you happy and give you all the answers. And you'll be rich and powerful and never have a single problem in your life again. I promise. Trust me.
No more time. It's running out.
Time's up. Now it's $3,249.
And you have to give us your firstborn.
Mm-hmm. But read the testimonials. They speak for themselves.
We just don't know where they are.
But seriously, guys, I think we've gone on long enough. I don't even know if I think we've just derailed
Yeah, we went from
We've been like 10 different subjects,
we've
but
been
you
a
know,
lot.
it's our show. We have a microphone. Listen to us.
And if you don't, it's okay. We don't care. But we would like it if you talk to us.
Seriously, don't listen to us. We're morons.
No
just think about what we say.
degradation.
Think about what you think. Think about the things we say. Think about your life. Just think. Everybody think inwardly, please.
Yeah, I think
We all need to be more introspective.
less reactionary, more introspection.
Yeah.
Maybe that's our mantra. It's like turn inward and think about things instead of just scrolling through and getting angry about things. Why are you getting angry?
Because the world can be better. The
think
world
it can.
will be better. I have faith. And it just starts with you. Starts with me.
And $29.95.
And a very easy payment of $29.95 straight to my PayPal. And you'll be rich and powerful.
We just don't know how that's going to work exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, on that note, I think we're going to end this episode here. Make sure you send us that $29.95 quickly. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. I know today's episode was a little bit different, but I think just moving forward, we're just going to start doing whatever we want. And I hope you guys stay on board.
If y'all want a positive news article for this week, you're going to have to send us $29.95 and we will send you the secrets to being a gazillionaire.
And if you're a new listener, make sure you check us out on social media, start engaging with us. And you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean is our biggest one. And of course, YouTube. Everything should be under Go I the Show or just I the Show. And we'd love to hear your feedback. Let us know if we sound like crap. I don't know. I think we sound pretty good, but we've been experiencing issues, like I said in the beginning of this episode. So going forward, we'd like to hear if we're having issues, because we can't always listen to the entire episode back over again during editing and stuff. So please give us your feedback. Go on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, engage with us, please.
Yeah, I've come to notice that podcasts don't really work unless the listeners engage a little bit. So give us your parasocial relationships, please.
Ooh.
And have a good day.